All right, can you hear me?
Absolutely, brother. How you doing this
Yeah,
morning?
man, I'm here. Oh, you see me set up in the garage.
There we go.
Yeah,
There we go, man.
my wife
Yeah,
was
man.
my wife is off. My kids are still out of
Oh,
school, so I'm like, let me
oh
just.
man.
I couldn't make it to the office today,
Yeah,
so I was
yeah,
let me just set up and just I set up a little spot. It's a cool
yeah,
little spot though, right in front of
yeah,
my
bro.
car. So I ain't tripping. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah, bro. The only reason why I don't normally go live in my house is because of my
Right,
kids.
right. So that's why I'm in my garage. So I'm like, let me just because my wife she's off today, so I'm just like, you know what? Let me just. She's like, oh, you can do it up here. I was like, no, I don't want to be too loud,
Yeah,
and stuff we be talking about. So I'm just like,
yeah.
I'll just post up in the garage, set up. I'm like in between both of our cars, and I
Hmm.
got me a little little seat, a little foldable chair, and I got my iPad on top of my toolboxes, and it's like
There,
perfect. So
there we go.
I'm chilling. I'm
There we
chilling.
go.
I'm like. I was gonna do it in my backyard. I was like, nah, it's too loud. I was like, nah, the garage is
Mhm.
perfect. So I ain't tripping.
Yeah, bro. How's your week been so far with your company?
Man, so business, man, it's crazy. So I got right now with business, man. Right now, I got two trucks running right now. I got five
Hmm.
trucks, but I got two trucks running. We doing the drop and hook Amazon stuff, and it's going really well. Actually, they out there in the Carolinas right now.
Okay.
I had one guy, and he just left Carolina. He was in what is that? Kernersville. He was in
I'm
Kernersville.
actually from not too far from Kernersville. I know what
Oh,
Kernersville
okay.
exactly there is.
So he was
Yeah.
in yeah, he was in Kernersville, and we ended up getting a load, drop and hook load, which is it's like with Amazon it's like a series of pickups and stuff. But it was actually pretty good. Like a 4 day run, $2.75 a mile.
Mhm.
So he started that yesterday. He's like going to Indiana right now, running to a little bit of snow, but he's doing well. I got another driver. He's in actually he delivered it at Kernersville yesterday, and he's like in the Raleigh area. So we're gonna find him something, probably find him a round trip, from he's been doing a lot of Carolina, and he's not from Carolina, but his family lives in Hurdle Mills. So
Okay.
yeah, Hurdle Mills is like close to like Durham, that's like the
Hmm.
closest. So Raleigh, all of that. So he loves it. I used to have him running on the West Coast, but once I got him over to the East Coast, and we just seen that the Carolinas, Virginias,
Hmm.
it's actually been really pretty good for the drop and hook freight. And what we do is, like I said, we just get them we get a bunch of round trips, man, and just doing that.
Hmm.
My big, so they doing well. Those are my two solo guys. I'm looking to hire some more people. Actually, I was supposed to talk to a team today, but this is the thing I want to talk about when you hiring people, man. Um, this team, I wanted a team. I really wanted a team. I thought this was going to be the team. But it's so funny when drivers are very jaded, man, very jaded. So one guy part of the team, he's like, "Bro, I'm ready to start. Let's do this. Let's figure this shit out." The company he worked for, they was making 25 cents a mile each as a
Damn.
team. Exactly.
That
20
that
20.
I think that's very bad, right?
That's as a
Yeah.
team. Yeah, that's terrible. Like I usually pay my team like 75 cents a mile.
So they're
Or you
so together, right?
together 50 cents a mile.
Okay. All right. Okay. All
I
right.
put it
Okay.
like this: I pay my solo driver 60 cents a mile.
Mm.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so I'm talking to this one guy. He's like, "Yeah, man, this company, it's cool, but this is how much we make." Um, very good conversation with one of the drivers. This is how much we make, man. We want to, and I told, "Hey, man, this is what we do. We do drop and hook, mostly Amazon. I feel like it's pretty good. I feel like it's really good for teams, because you can schedule. What good thing about Amazon, man? Once you get to a certain point, you can schedule them. You can
Mm-hmm.
schedule like, from 1 week to like 5 weeks out, and they
Yeah.
just run it. They just run it freight. I love that, especially for a team. When you hiring teams, bro, the thing about a team, you want to keep going. You don't want to stop. So I'm like, okay, I can schedule you on this. Whereas the company they're working for, they'll schedule them something. I think they do a DHL, but DHL is not everywhere. So they'll do like one route, and then they have to wait for their dispatcher to find something else. And sometimes as a team, they sit in like 1, 2 days. That's terrible for a team. Why would you be a team if you will be sitting? So I talked to one guy. He like, yeah. So let me sign it. So we start doing the sign up and stuff like that. And then his partner was like, nah, that sounds too good to be true. That's how jaded drivers are. When they have a good opportunity in their face, they like, oh, it's too good to be true. So why the
They been getting
hell?
screwed so long though.
That's true. That's true. And I understand it, but and then that's the one thing about me. I'm very honest. I'm very transparent. And I tell them like, hey, look, I've had teams before, but I was like, I haven't done teams with Amazon. I wouldn't say it's a gamble, but I know it's better, it's more consistent in what you're doing, right? If we have some kinks or if you doing less miles, then I'll switch it over to a percentage, no problem. You know what I'm saying? But I'm very transparent. So the other guy was like, oh, it sounds too good to be true. I want to meet him in person. So we were supposed to meet this morning. We were supposed to meet. So this is the thing about me, bro. 3 strikes. I have a 3 strikes. So the first strike was the guy was like, it's too good to be true, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, all right, that's 1 strike. All right. Second strike, well, we were supposed to meet.
Nigeria.
The second strike, we were supposed to meet up on Tuesday or not Tuesday. We were supposed to meet up on New Year's,
Mm-hmm.
right? Oh, we can't meet up on New Year's. I sent him the address where the trucks are. Well, why can't you come to us? Type shit. I'm like, I'm the company. My trucks are here. Y'all can come out here. If you want to meet me and see the truck, this is where the truck is at. This is where I'm at. I'll meet you over there. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
no, no, no. All right, let's meet on Friday. I was like, okay, well, we can meet up on Friday. Let's do Friday. They were supposed to meet up. They were supposed to meet up with me like 6 o'clock in the morning, right? They were supposed to meet up with me at 6 o'clock in the morning. Then they text me, oh man, we tired. I'll give you a call around noon, and we'll come out there. You're not on I'm not on your schedule. That's the one thing drivers got to understand. When you trying to get a job, bro, you on the company's time.
For
You know what
sure.
I'm saying? If the company says you need to be here so we can meet, and I clear my schedule to make sure I meet up with you Wednesday, and I clear my schedule to meet up with you today, and then you telling me it's too good to be true, and you got your doubts and all of that, I don't want to deal with you.
Yeah,
That
you're not in the business of proving yourself to nobody.
exactly. So that's where I've came a long way because before I used to jump through those hurdles for drivers. I don't do that no more. So I sent them a text and said, "Hey man, um, you guys are not a good fit for me." That's I struggle. I said, "You guys are not a good fit. I don't think it's going to work. I think you guys should just stay with your current company. Good luck with everything."
Mm-hmm.
And I don't need to go to back and forth. I don't need to, you guys can call, text. I'm not gonna respond. But
Yeah,
as a company, bro, and these drivers, I love the drivers, man. But you got to be like, if you got a good opportunity in front of your face, you got to be out there and willing to do it. You got to be like, hey, let's do it. Let's meet up. Let's get this thing cracking. If you
mm-hmm.
really want to work, because I'm not in the time. I'm not in the to waste my time, bro. I'm like, yo, we can do this. Let's get you going. I'm ready. I'm ready for you. I prayed for you guys to come. You guys are here, but now you guys playing games. So if you playing games with this, how I'm gonna trust you in my truck on that road? I
For
can't.
sure.
I
For
can't. You're
sure.
not showing me that you're trustworthy from the beginning. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? So that's what I'm dealing with right now. Because I'm gonna open it up to solo drivers. I have some solo drivers hit me up, but like I hate to say it, man. Like we talked about this before. You know, to be a solo OTR driver, you got to be on that road. My
Yeah.
guys are making a lot of money because they're on that road. And,
Yeah.
and I tell people, and the biggest thing about me now, being in this game almost 3 years, than when I first started, I wouldn't say I wasn't honest. I was honest, but I'm very, very transparent on what I'm looking for. This is what
Mm-hmm.
I need you to do. Can you do it or not? If you can't do it, that's fine. I'm not mad at you. Nobody's gonna be mad at you. But for me to make, because I look at it like this: I'm making an investment in the truck. I'm the one paying for the gas, the repairs, and everything. But if you can't do what I need you to do, then there's a lot of companies out there, man. But that's what I've been going through right now. Like I'm trying to put people in my truck. I'm like, look, I got till March to figure out what I want to do with my company. Like I can keep it or keep it going. But I'm like, I just want good people, man. That's all I want. Like I just want good people that just drive and just want to be out there on that road. And I know they out there. People say, "Oh man, that's like slavery." No, it's not slavery because
Not at all.
I got 2 drivers that's like that and they making bank every week. You know what I'm saying? But it's they making bank because they putting in the work.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is. If you working and you doing your thing, you gonna make the money, man. Everybody that's been with me that's worked has made a lot of money. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, but it's just funny, like I put that like, hey, I'm looking for some drivers. What I'm looking for, some people, oh man, that's like slavery, man. 4 to 6 weeks minimum, that's slavery.
No,
How is
it's
slavery
not.
when you getting paid for it? You getting paid
we,
for it. I'm paying you really well.
you know, once again, this is why, and a lot of on those comments they was talking about how foreigners coming over here and are winning
That's
and
why.
doing all this, bro. Because a foreigner would come here and they would be with their family and say, "Hey, you know, I got a family back in North Carolina or New York. I'm going to go stay with them once every 6 weeks. In the meantime, I'm grinding. I'm grinding 6 weeks, bro. Somebody asked how much you pay.
Oh, for my solo, I pay 60 cents a mile. That's what I pay, which is well above what everybody I've talked to. I've talked to a lot of solo drivers as well. They getting paid 40 cents a mile, 45 cents a mile. Or there'll be some solo drivers that say they get paid 60 cents a mile, like my company, but they sitting. The one thing
Hmm.
what I do with the Amazon, what we do, my guys are moving. My guys are moving
Hmm.
every day. So that's the benefit of what we do. Um, but yes, to your point, that is exactly the reason why you got foreigners coming over here taking over the jobs.
Oh,
And I was ta-
100%.
and I was talking to my wife about that. I said, what it is. I said, I hate to say it, man. I'm American, bro. You American. I love my Americans, but we just in this point right now where they don't want to work. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? And you got and especially and it's really heavy in our industry. That's the reason why, I did a post about automatic trucks and manual trucks. I said, look, you drive automatic, you're still a driver, you're still a trucker, but they making these automatic trucks because these guys is coming from overseas and they hopping in these trucks and they going. You know what
Yep.
I'm saying? And that's what you need to be as a trucker, and that's your competition. So you can't call a person like me that owns a company and saying you want to demand home time and stuff like that, which I understand. That's what your life. That's your life. But how would I pick you when this guy said I don't need to be home, or my home
Hmm.
is in a whole nother country? You see what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So I think the American trucker needs to wake up, really, and be like, this is what you're dealing with. This is your
Hmm.
competition. Before you get into trucking, you got to understand that there's people out there willing to be in these trucks 6 months straight,
Hmm.
dead ass. And I remember when I first started, I found a driver, and the nigga scared me because he was a French guy, and he said he only go home in May,
Hmm.
right? So he only go home in May, but the other time for the 11 months he's driving, he's on the road. And that
Hmm.
scared me, bro. I didn't hire him because I'm like, what? But then I'm thinking like that's what you need. You need
Yeah.
somebody in that truck. And then he said, all I do is I take 700, maybe to 1,000, not even 1,000, probably 700, and the rest I send home.
But
And I'm out here
see, bro,
grinding.
here's the thing about most owner ops. There's two ways. I got a few quick answers to your situations. I had a driver like that. My wife's dad. This dude, he drove for me for a while, and for whatever reason, it didn't work out. I'm not gonna bash him, but he worked for another owner op now,
Yeah,
and the owner op never have him home. He's always complaining, and I'm telling my wife, I'm like, he need to go work for a bigger carrier because we ain't got those kind of decisions when you're a smaller carrier and you have these small contracts. Not to say your contract is small, but in comparison to somebody with 10
yeah,
trucks,
right,
you got to go with the flow where the money is,
correct,
and it has to be it has to be almost. I tell you, not even almost. I tell you where to go, you just go. As long as I don't put you in no safety jeopardy. As long as I don't jeopardize your safety.
correct,
As long as I don't put your CDLs in jeopardy.
correct.
As long as I don't keep you past your hours and all that stuff, bro. You go where I say go, bro. Like it can't be this whole thing. But once again, we got to be on the same accord by making this money because you're gonna make money. I'm gonna make it too. But if we in this together, why we even in it?
Exactly. And that's the reason why I got rid of two of my other drivers quit because they thought they can tell me where they want to go, when they're gonna be out, how long they're gonna be out. It don't work. It don't work. It's for a
Hmm.
smaller company.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you this right now. When I put my ad out, I put my ad out on Indeed. Indeed is solid.
Hmm.
A lot of the big companies is losing contracts. I've had
Yeah.
a lot of guys call me, oh, I work for such and such. I used to work for such and such. Well, what happened? Well, they lost their contract.
Hmm.
So the trucker, you as a trucker, you have to understand, like, that's what I'm saying. You guys, the truckers want a definite situation in the industry that is so up and down.
True.
That's hard to do.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like just because you got a contract don't mean you can't lose that
I,
contract. You see what
I
I'm
would
saying?
add in. I would add in. I remember I had a meeting with my contract people, my last contract. And I told them this. I said one thing I learned about trucking: the only thing that stay the same is that's always changing. Nothing ever stays the same.
Nothing.
You can have a
Nothing.
contract doing this, and then unless it's like a government 3-year building project, and even
Even
then they can come in
then
and
you
say,
can
"Hey,
even then, yeah, even then they can find somebody cheaper and you fire and
yep,
they find somebody else.
oh, we
It,
decided we're not going to build this part of the infrastructure. We don't need your services." You be like,
right,
"Dang,
well, yeah, it can end just like it can end just like that. You know what I'm saying? So
100%, 100%,
that's a good thing. Now, that's the one thing about trucking. That's the one thing that never changed. That is always changing. You know what I'm saying?
always
That's
changing."
it's always changing. So when you know, and I like I said, I love the drivers, man. I understand the driver. I am a driver. I've done it. I hire drivers. But when I'm talking to these drivers, I'm very frank and I'm telling you, like, bro, you got to be willing to go anywhere. You got to be willing to be like, I'm here, I'm there. Home is not in your mind, and that's the reason why when I got some other posts that I'm gonna be posting. Do I feel like you should be driving trucks for 20 years? I don't think so.
Hell
I think I think
no.
I think you should be driving trucks for five
Boy,
years,
you
stack stack your money up,
we
and
had the
then
same.
put your money into something else. And then now, if you driving trucks after the 5 years, you're not driving because you have to. It's because you want to. You see what I'm saying? So a lot of these people who are driving for so long,
They're doing
bro,
it wrong.
they doing it wrong. So they driving for so long, and then you feel like, oh, you've been driving 10 years, 20 years, somebody owe you something. We don't owe you
Hmm.
nothing, bro. It's your, like I said, at the end of the day, it's your fault that you've been driving this long and you ain't got nothing to show. You know what I'm
Well,
saying? And it's sad because it's like, bro, you shouldn't be driving this long and now you trying to haggle with me over certain cents per mile. When you've been driving this long, and if you've been driving this long, I know you made money. So what do you have to show for it? You have
well,
nothing to show for it.
well, big dog. I look at it's the same kind of ordeal. People in warehouses, be at warehouses 10, 20 years, or be at Walmart. No offense to anybody working at Walmart. My first job was at Walmart,
Right.
and
Right. But
I
it's a
had a.
stepping stone. It's a
It's a
stepping stone.
stepping stone.
That's what it is.
I seen people at Walmart when I first got there. They was there like 20 years, and I remember her like, "Yeah, I got to Walmart when I first got out of high school." And I remember thinking, "You're still fucking here for 20 years.
Right. You
You
ain't
didn't build."
moved up. You ain't no manager. You ain't no area manager. You ain't no regional manager. You still doing the same thing. You just comfortable. You just comfortable where you at. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it is, man. I don't feel like trucking is a legacy job. It's not a job where you put in all these years in your life and then you get celebrated or you get a pension. Truck is not that, bro. Trucking is a stepping stone. Driving trucks, you should be driving trucks maybe 5 years, stack your money up. But like we said, put it in investments, and then you should be looking around and be like, all right, cool. Unless you want to start a company, unless you want to go down that route, obviously you'll be in trucking longer. But if you are just driving trucks, bro, it's not a point of you gonna be driving. I'm gonna be doing this for 20
Unless
years. You should say
you
5 years.
want to.
Unless
Unless
you
you want
want
to.
to, yeah, exactly. So your first 5 years should be a
Yeah.
grind. Your first 5 years in driving should be a grind. You should be grinding, saving, putting money up, putting money into this, putting money into that. And then after 5 years, you can be looking back like, yeah, I like truck driving. I can drive because I want to drive.
Yeah.
I'm not mad. I'm not mad if I'm only driving 3 or 4 days out the week. I'm not tripping. Like I'm bringing some income in, but also too, it's a really tough industry to have your family depend on it as well. So if I'm driving trucks and if I don't drive this truck, my family depending on me to bring home the bacon because of this trucking company. That's tough too. I don't
What?
understand that. I don't understand that because I'm like, yo, this is like I said, this is an industry. You could be driving for a company, everything cool one week, and then next week it can go to total shit. The
Yep.
company can call you, and you see these companies do that. The companies tell the people, hey, bring the trucks back to the thing. We shut down operations.
And you on the road.
And you on the road, shutting off gas cars, shutting off everything,
they
right? You see what I'm saying? Like,
shut the gas car you at the pump you about for gas in. It's like,
right, that's what I'm
like, I'm gonna
saying. So,
leave.
so that's what I'm saying. So I'm like,
Yeah.
look, there's nothing wrong with trucking, and trucking is a stepping stone. I feel like trucking is great for people that don't know what they want to do when they get out of high school or get out, or if you get out of prison. Trucking
Mhm.
is a great situation. Trucking is good for a lot of people, but it's not a forever thing.
Fuck
If you go in this
no.
and say I'm gonna drive for 20 years, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna be mad after those 20 years if you don't do it right. You know what I'm saying? Like
Th-
I've had those
For
guys,
sure.
I've hired those guys that drove for 20, 30 years, and they mad at me. They
Yep.
grumpy. Why you mad? Well, I wish I would have just, man, saved my money. I wouldn't even be driving. And I'd be like, bro,
I
that's
have
your
my own
fault.
truck by
I don't
now.
have
You should have your truck
I,
15 years
I was like,
ago.
yeah, man. Like, oh, how old are you, man? Oh, well, when I first started, I'm 38 now. When I first started, I was 35. You 35 and you already got 3 trucks?
Yeah.
Damn, man, I've been driving for 20 years. I ain't never had my own truck.
Yep.
I
Yep.
think different. You,
But
you know what I'm saying? The
hold on,
jealousy is there.
hold on, Marcus. Because these same people during COVID time, they got 20, 50,000. They ain't think about getting a truck. They about to stay. You
They-
know, listen,
That's what
I
that's
meet
what
a
I'm
lot of
saying.
drivers. I meet a lot of drivers, bro, who's been over the years, been in the industry and just failed to invest. And I get it. I don't think investing is so popular like it is today. But I would say this: if you the new truck driver, first of all, I know these trucks gonna be. I don't think they're gonna be. I don't think from an insurance perspective if they're gonna have self driving trucks. I don't think that
Nah, they
that's
they
ever.
they stopped that. They
Yeah,
stopped that. They
but it's gonna
stopped
be
it.
somebody in it.
It's gonna be somebody in it, but they stopped the self-driving trucks because it was the latest thing because the self-driving trucks can't put the cones out if they got emergency. So that's one of the reasons why they stopped it. They was like, well, if they have an emergency, it's pulled off to the side. Who pull the cones out?
Yeah,
So they stopped that shit for like another like 3 to 5 years just because of the cones. But yeah,
damn,
go ahead. Yeah, go
damn,
ahead.
you educated me on live. I ain't know
Yeah.
that. I ain't
They
never
just
think of that.
they had a thing talking about self-driving trucks. They stopped it because FMC it was actually FMCSA. They
Hmm.
said they stopping it because if it pulls over to the side, because we know trucks are gonna have an emergency, they're gonna break
Yeah.
down. Who's gonna pull out the cones so people know that that truck is pulled over?
Hmm.
So what they try to do was say they was trying to put on different certain type of lights on the vehicle so like it'll be like a bright light, but it was like it doesn't help because the cones you got to put them out at a certain distance. So
Yes.
you won't see them lights unless you pull up. But the cones are usually like what 50 feet, 150 feet, 250 feet, whatever that distance is for those three
Wow.
cones, right? So they stopped the self-driving trucks because of that, and now they try to figure out how they do it. But you need a person to put those
You
cones out because that's
need
the
a
FMC.
person.
You need a person.
Even from a
So that was
insurance perspective, they were talking about it on like an insurance podcast that I was listening to about trucking. They were saying it was a big accident somewhere in California or Arizona, somewhere out west, and they were saying because of that accident as well, insurance was raised hell. They're like, hey, we can't insure these things if there's nobody on them. You got to have somebody to insure. You got to have somebody to blame or somebody aboard to kind of like navigate it. We know you need somebody to blame too. You need somebody who's in control of this machine. So
you
even if we get to a point to where we just sit there in the truck and it's driving itself, you still gonna need somebody. You still gonna have to have some kind of be on the road, bro. You might be able to roll longer.
one thing I can tell you, you in this industry, so you know a lot more of this than I do. If the insurance don't approve it, we'll never have self-driving
Oh yeah,
trucks because at
yeah.
the end of the day, the insurance is the one that's footing the bill. So
Hmm.
if the insurance companies don't feel comfortable with that shit, they'll find every other way. And I feel like they found that loophole to give to the FMCSA about the cones to slow
Mm.
that down. Because at the end of the
Mm.
day, like I said, the insurance goes off of there's they go off the company, but who they really go off of base their insurance premiums on the driver.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
if there's no driver in there, what you gonna say? Now you're gonna go off of what type of truck it is, their history.
Yep.
Insurance
Yep.
not playing that, bro. So we all
Yep.
know the insurance controls this industry like a mother.
Yeah.
So if they not gonna give you the thumbs up, because really that's the only person that got to get a thumbs up for it to go through. It's the
Yep.
insurance.
Yep. Yeah,
The
insurance is
insurance.
not going to be out of, and then from this perspective, insurance is not going to be out of billions and trillions of dollars of a whole industry they have of people that they keep just because you have anonymous trusts. So we're going to insure these things
They
too. Y'all go put them
going
on the road. All right, we're gonna be.
for
So that's why everybody's like, well, when you do trucking insurance, I'm like, oh, well, when they switch over to automatic, I'm gonna be insuring those too.
yeah, you're gonna be insured for those. It's gonna be obviously it's gonna be different. And that's why I said that they're more gonna be like, okay, what truck you got? Because they're gonna be going off
Yeah,
of data, off of what truck, and that I still feel like autonomous trucks is a long way to
me
go
too.
because like I said, you have an autonomous truck, but the autonomous cars need to come before the autonomous trucks.
Oh, for sure, for sure. These are
So
work. trucks. Anyway, you need somebody to man a work truck.
You need,
Maybe a
yeah,
passenger vehicle,
that's what I'm saying.
fine.
But the passenger vehicle, there's a lot that needs to happen because when you start when you talk about autonomous trucks, so you got one autonomous truck on the road, but you got thousands around it, cars that
Hmm.
have people in it that you can't react to their actions fast enough because you don't know what they're thinking.
That's right.
So the way the autonomous is going to work is what they got to do is they got to first autonomous. When you think about autonomous vehicles, it's not the vehicles, right? It's the roads. So the roads got to have sensors in the roads, so the autonomous vehicle knows which way to go, what
Mm-hmm.
is right, what is restricted, what is not restricted. So the roads need to be improved first before you have
We
the
about
autonomous
25 years
vehicles.
away, bro.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So we got to redo the roads. We got to put
Yeah.
sensors and stuff in each of these roads. So
Infrastructure.
so autonomous truck car knows if I'm going straight and there's this line here, these sensors here, I can't cross it,
Hmm.
right? It's so many things that need to happen before, and they're trying to do certain things, but like you said, we're about 20 to 50 years away because the infrastructure, the amount of money we got to put into the roads. I'm
Hmm.
not talking about the cars, bro. The roads is where it's at. Because if you ever look at, like I said, you ever look at like the futuristic videos and stuff like that, the movies, they're driving and they're like hovering over the road. It's
Yep.
because there's sensors and shit on the road telling that
Hmm.
car that you can't do this, you can't do this. This so the big play is if you really think about autonomous vehicles, you like, yo, I'm trying to make money off of that. It's investing in the sensors that they're going to be putting in the roads.
Hmm.
So what company, and that's we talk about investment, what company is really spearheading that? What company,
Also, shit,
yeah,
I'll dance with you. I'll dance with you. What companies are going to get paid to install these sensors? As a
exactly.
trucking company, you should be, as a transportation company, you should be interested in any kind of infrastructure bill that's going to, you know, incentivize Americans because it just like any kind of infrastructure, whether it's building an airport, whether it's building roads, there's going to be small contractors in between us getting that money. So, like me, I'm gonna give you an example. I already know that down the pipeline, marijuana dispensary is gonna come across the whole country. That's my
Yeah,
guess.
of
And I
course.
want to have my insurance company. We're gonna insure marijuana dispensaries and delivery. It's
Yep.
coming. It's coming.
Right.
So I'm already positioned. I got the carriers for it. They already do it. I'm just really waiting on some kind of larger mandate. I've done some in Florida. I haven't done it in Georgia yet.
Right. Well, that's
Hmm.
what it is, man. It's just like, last we say talk about these investments, but especially like I said with the autonomous truck, I think it was the thing that that the past administration was trying to push. It looks good. A lot of people got paid off of that. A lot of money went into these autonomous trucks for investments. But like you said, it's about a minimum of 20 to 25 years away.
What? Man,
It's a
man,
lot that goes
please,
on. So but
please.
that's what I'm saying. So if you were a trucker, you got to look at like, okay, I got about a good 20 to 25 years left in this, but let me go hard for 5 years, put my money up and do this because you don't have to do this. A lot of truckers are upset about trucking and driving trucks just because they mad that they have to do this. That's what it
Yeah.
comes down to. They are just mad that they have to get in this truck. They have to listen to somebody telling them where to go. They have no control of if you stuck in Texas, you stuck in Texas. You can't just drive the truck back to California until we get a load. They're upset of not having that freedom. You can have that freedom and be an owner operator, but you got
Hmm.
to pay for everything, right? So
Hmm.
that's the thing about trucking, man. Is like we just need more soldiers. That's just what it is, man. We need more people that just want to work and they're here, but they're not from here.
Hmm.
That's what it is,
Hmm.
you know. So it's sad, man. But like I said, you know, and I speak from experience, man. Like I'm talking to these drivers, talking to potential hires every day, and then the people that are from America that want to work and all that stuff. Like I had one guy, man. I was like, man, you hired, bro. You just got clear insurance, come back insurance, 2, 3 accidents, can't hire you.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, can't hire you, brother. Like, you gonna raise my insurance premium 20 grand, you know?
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
just like, it's just like stuff like that, man. It's just like, but you got these guys coming from overseas, man. They taking these jobs, man. It's because they want to work. That's like my biggest thing for 2025 is that people. I'm very biased, I guess. I feel like a lot of people in our industry don't want to work.
You know,
They want the handout.
bro,
They want the easy
I
work.
wonder. I don't mean I just wonder, man, because we live in a day and age now where there's so much wealth, generation wealth talk, where people are, we know about investments. I know our fathers and our mothers, their generation wasn't exposed to all this information. Like
Right, right,
back in the 90s and in the 80s and stuff, bro, that people just going to school, get a job, bro, like
right,
internet.
right.
So I'm wondering what the next 10 years are going to look like when we turn 45, 46, 47, 48. What is it going to look like? The people, are we going to look like the knowledge that was available in our timeline? Because that's it's a book I was reading. It's called The $1 Trillion Transfer.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about all this wealth that's being transferred from the COVID area over the next 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
Billions and trillions, and people are dying. Older baby boomers are retiring and
Right.
passing their economic wealth over. Like, do we realize this now, or do we look back at it in 5 or 10 years like we did with Bitcoin? Because I remember when Bitcoin was 3,000.
Right.
Do you?
No, I remember it was lower than that, and I should have got
Damn,
into it. Yeah.
damn.
Mm-hmm.
What do you remember being low as?
Yeah, I remember when it kind of first started, bro. You know
How?
what I'm saying?
Wow.
Just from people that I know, man, and I feel bad that I didn't get into it. That's the reason why, like with the investment side, I'm not really. My goal for 2025 is to really get
Talk
into
about it.
is to really get into a lot of investment. Is really to get into the financial sector
Mhm.
of things. Because there's a lot of things out there that you can invest in, bro, where you don't have to do the work.
Yes.
And that's the reason. And so if you don't want to do the work, if you don't want to work hard, I'm not saying you don't want to work hard, but if you don't want to put in the work, if you don't want to, but that's what I'm saying. You can
Yeah,
put your money in investments, bro, and just live off your
for
investments.
sure.
And I'm mad that I haven't done it, but
Hmm.
my goal in 2025 is to do that. Like I'm
Yeah.
really heavy on that. But then also too, that's why we talk about, me, you talk privately about having a trucking company, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I can just sell all my assets and then start a factoring company.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So if I sold 5 trucks, I have about 200, 250, right? I can start a factoring company by myself.
Did you tell
And
me your wife was in like mortgage
she's
brokering?
in no, she's in like the finance for cars and stuff.
Oh, okay. Okay. That's a good business too.
Yeah. So right, but that's what and that's what I'm
Finance
looking at.
security.
Yeah. So that's what I'm looking at as far as just like having your money work for
Man,
you. I think I
hell
think
yeah.
I think I think in 2025, my goal is having my money work for me, but it's not killing me.
Hmm.
That's the goal, you know. But that's what people want.
Yeah.
People want money coming to them, and they do very little work. That's investing.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you don't have to do. You got still got to do research, or you just put it in the fund, and you be like, all right, cool. You know,
Yep.
I got $1 million. I put it in the fund. I make 12% per year. That's $120,000 a year.
Hmm.
I'm Gucci. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I'm not even tripping. I don't need to do the day trades, the options, all that. Fuck all that. I'm doing 120 a year
Hmm.
straight. You know what I'm saying? Or put it in real estate and do stuff like that. But for me, 2025, and that's the thing I'm really struggling with. Like I talked to my wife. I love my trucking company. I love having my trucking company. But then you deal with people that don't want to work.
Yeah.
So then you like, okay, well, let me just sell everything. And then I got this cash, and then I'll just have a factory company. Way less stress. You know what I'm
I
saying?
I love my trucking company as well. But with my trucking company, I was too depending on other people's efforts for me to produce an income. There goes CDL.
Let me see if I can catch your name.
Yeah, yeah. I was too, used to other people's efforts and you get comfortable and you don't want that. So now with insurance, I have virtual assistants that I can hold accountable. What's going on, CDL? Making trucking
What's
great
going?
again, baby.
Yeah. I had to get in tune with y'all, man. Sorry, I'm late, man. I'm out here in these streets today, running errands. I got a or not heart transplant, heart biopsy on Monday. So we're leaving out of town to go to Jacksonville tomorrow. So I'm trying to run some errands today.
Oh, cool, man.
Okay, brother. Okay,
Cool.
brother.
Yeah.
You got anything on your mind today, brother?
Um. No, man. Y'all just keep doing what y'all doing, man. one thing I did realize what I'm gonna start talking about now. First of all, how are y'all doing, man? Let me ask y'all that. How y'all doing?
We
Okay,
here,
Marcus.
man.
Yeah.
I'm finally talking and alive. You know what I'm saying? You know, I was
Yeah,
down for like 2 weeks.
you.
I was
Yeah,
I was down, boy, but I'm good, man. Just 2025, just figuring it out, doing like I said, talking and doing different things, man, and
that's
just
good.
getting it going, man. But
That's
yeah, man, shit, I
that's good.
finally, we here. I'm
That's
good.
That's good,
First
man. I just
Friday of
want
the
to
year.
check in with y'all fellas. Yeah, first Friday of the year. But one thing that I do want to start talking about, and I'm doing a lot of more research about this, is you know this year I titled it the year of education. Because I feel
Mm,
like a lot of truckers, we need to start educating
yeah,
ourselves. I'm tired of going out. I'm tired of going out to these truck stops, doing interviews and stuff, and a lot of truck drivers don't have a clue what I'm talking about. And I was once that person too. I didn't know what I know now. We all got to start from somewhere. But the difference between me and them is I was always curious. I always wanted to learn. I
right,
always wanted to figure it out.
right,
You got cats these days that they just want to jump in the truck and drive. They don't care nothing about figuring stuff out and learning stuff.
right.
So I titled this year the year education number one. Then number two, I said that I was going to stop talking about people taking cheap freight and people, too many people in the industry, stuff like that. Because one thing that I realized that a lot of people are not talking about is to understand why trucking is the way it is nowadays is I realized I was like, whoa, wait a minute. We got to take a step back. We got to go back in history. We got to do our history on our industry. And I realized that we need to go back to 1935, study that. Then we need to go from 1935 to 1980, study that
Mm-hmm,
gap. And then we need to study what happened in 1980 with our industry as far as deregulation is concerned.
mm-hmm.
And then
Yeah,
when you start researching deregulation and you start finding out what deregulation and what it's all about, you'll now have a better insight onto, whoa, wait a minute. This is why the industry is the way it is.
Mm-hmm.
Then I also raised the question, did it help or did it hurt us? Now, I'll say this, it's bittersweet for me, just a little bit that I know right now, because I don't know everything. I'm still in the process of researching. But just a little bit I know, one of the reasons why I say bittersweet is because, number one, it actually allowed us to come out. It pushed us into entrepreneurship. It let somebody like me, you, and Marcus, get out, have our own trucks, set our own lanes and stuff like that. But what it did was it made it better for the consumer, which is the shipper, and it brought in a lot of competition, which did what? Drove rates down.
mm,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I'm studying a lot about deregulation and regulation as well, and yeah, man, I'm gonna do all my studying and then I'm gonna just start bringing more awareness about it, and then I would like to have more conversations with people and ask them, what do they think about deregulation? Did it help or did it hurt? And the part that's hurting us, how can we combat that? Because I don't think we need more regulation. That's the worst thing we need is more government
for
involved.
sure.
But how can we combat, all of the cutthroat industry? How can we combat that without having more regulation? They already regulate the hell out of us on safety, but everything else, the government completely took their hands off of, and that's what we wanted. That's what our forefathers wanted back in 1980. But now, 40 years later, you see the industry is in shambles right now.
Yeah, man.
But then when you talk to people, it's like, whoa, wait a minute. That's what y'all wanted. This is what y'all wanted. And it's like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, we did, but also we didn't want it like that. And it's funny because I talk about broker transparency in the law, and a lot of people don't realize that this is an actual law that's on the books. It's a
Yeah,
law.
Mm-hmm.
This is not, hey, are you for broker transparency or not? No, this is a law. What we're trying to do and what I'm trying to do, and OIDA and everybody else is trying to do, is we're trying to get it strengthened because it's a law like this, just like jaywalking. Jaywalking is a law, but the law is lenient on jaywalking.
yeah.
But
Mm-hmm.
if you come across the right police officer in the right day, they can give you a ticket for that.
Yeah.
And that's how
Hmm.
broker transparency is. But it needs to be strengthened. And the reason why it came into act in 1980 in the Motor Carrier Act, the reason why the government did that is because they knew that, whoa, wait a minute, this shit about to be wild, wild west out here. And that's what it became. But they put that law into effect because they knew that some shit was about to go down.
Hmm.
So that's just what I'm on right now. I'm on the year of education, man. I did a video yesterday. I put it out on YouTube where I literally started printing out packets, man. And I went out to the truck stop yesterday to the fuel island, and I just started handing packets out to people just to tell them to read, man. I don't want no money. I don't want no cash. I just want everybody to get their knowledge up, man. I really do.
And that's
I
what it
want
is.
I
That's what
want
it is. Oh, no, go
I
ahead.
want
Go ahead.
to respond right quick.
Talk to
Well, I got both of y'all on the live, man. First of all, it's the first Friday of the year, guys. I'm happy to start my Friday out with my brothers. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
But
sir. I love y'all, man. I love y'all.
hey, love you as well, CDL.
I
But
got.
nah, bro. First the year education. So I want to add to that, and me and Marcus talk a lot offline a lot about this. I am going to put out more videos. All right. I've been incredibly busy.
Oh
Yeah,
my
Like,
gosh.
bro, I've
yeah,
been in a lot of time, Marcus. The issue for me with it is I like recording here. Like you guys like going to the truck stop.
Yeah,
I
to
like
trucks
I
yeah.
and
like being
stuff. Yeah,
in my office recording. I'm just never in the office nowadays. I'm in the office like once a week.
Got
man, you can be
I've been so
got
busy.
outside, bro. Walking, do a video. Don't
I gotta
matter.
start doing it at the gym or
Just,
something
just
because
do it wherever, bro. It
for
don't matter where it's at.
for sure. Because bro, I honestly I get up at 5. I get to my bed on my computer like 8. Bro, I'm busy from 8 to like 8.
That's a
it.
Like
good
answering
thing.
emails, getting new quote. I'm incredibly, and it's like people want to get more trust and grow. Like I'm incredibly busy right now. That's a blessing. But
Right.
even with that said, I gotta get this education. I'm like y'all guys doing. I see you. I'm right here with you, baby.
Yeah,
Shoot.
I've noticed. Like I turned my thing around. Like we talked about it, but I turned mine around just educating, just
yeah,
throwing the information out there. You see, I talk about a wide range of stuff on the truck. I'm gonna start talking about like common DOT violations. I'm gonna start talking about more stuff in the
yeah,
business. Just putting that information out there, and then, like I said, when you just want to make yourself the the authority in
Authority.
this in our industry. That's how you make yourself the authority and where people trust you because you're giving out information. I get countless and countless DMs now. People asking me questions. I'm like, yo, you ask me a question, I'm gonna make a video about it because if
Yep.
you asking me this question, there's probably 100 other people who want to ask me the same question, thinking the same thing.
right.
And I noticed that, but education, that's what it's about, man. I think what with our industry, man, if like you said, just being focused on just bringing out information where people could just learn. We all know
Yeah, man.
You go to CDL school, bro. You learn how to drive the truck, but you ain't learning about the history. You
No,
ain't learning about the industry
no.
and stuff like that. And to your point about the regulation, I feel like everybody else around the industry needs to be regulated, not the people in the industry. That's the
Hmm.
problem. I feel like there's a lot of, I know people don't like when I say this, but you got mechanics charging $250 to $300 an hour for
Yeah,
labor.
tow
You got, you got,
trucks.
yeah, yeah, no, not even tow trucks. Tow trucks is more. You got to
Ooh.
go to the shop. If I go to the shop, the dealer, 250, 300 an hour,
Yeah,
3, 4 hour minimum. So they already
right,
hitting me for 1,200 if I go to the dealer.
right,
Stuff like that, then you got the tow trucks, right? Yeah.
right.
Then you got, it's so many things in this industry that is killing the industry. There's so many things on the outside. You know what I'm saying? That is, trucking prices right now are incredibly high. And then you get financing for a truck. They want to slap you with a 14, 15% interest. Nobody does that in any other field. If I get a
Thirty
car,
percent interest.
30% interest. And then people are just buying them. Why are they buying them? It's because you're not educated. You're
Yeah,
not
yeah. Well,
educated.
I think
You should know that if somebody tells me I'm a 30% interest rate, you should probably walk away, bro. You know what I'm
oh,
saying?
for
Because
sure,
you're not
for
keeping that
sure.
truck. You're gonna lose that truck. 30% interest, 30%. So if a truck costs 100,000, that's an extra $30,000
But
on top because of the
damn,
interest.
Yeah,
Marcus, I ain't gonna lie. I was at 30% interest on my first truck.
But that's what I'm saying. You probably didn't know though. Somebody would say, "Hey, man,
Yeah,
that's
I
too high.
didn't know.
That's too
Go
high.
ahead.
Shop it around. Shop
exactly.
it around."
Exactly. Is that, and I think, like you said, this year is the year education because a lot of people don't know about that. And I'll go ahead and be honest. It's a vulnerable moment for me, bro. I didn't know anything about interest rates until a year ago
Mhm.
myself.
Exactly.
And that's when I got with my wife, and my wife is very financially literate, and
Right.
she started breaking it down to me because you know what I seen. I just seen the price. I seen what my credit can get me, and I seen the
Exactly.
price. And then they do talk about the interest, but being a young man, you ain't worried about no interest.
Because
Yeah.
You just like, okay, that's the price,
because
and
what you
you
because
know what I'm saying.
what
So
you know why because we program when we go to the dealership or for these truck places. I
yeah,
probably won't get a truck anyway. I probably won't get a truck, and then they be like, "Oh,
yeah,
you can get a truck." Oh, I don't give a fuck what the interest rate is. I'm sorry,
Yep.
because I get to
Or
get
you
a truck.
so gas, you just
but
like, man,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You
yeah,
don't even care.
yeah,
You know, oh, I
but
don't care. You know what I'm saying?
also
Like I don't care.
But but also the cost of living is up too nowadays because I'll say this
Correct.
and I think the auto industry has taken a hit in general. It's not just the price of trucks that have gone up, but the price of cars too. And I'll say this,
Yep.
I just recently bought a brand I had an old Mercedes Benz. I traded that in and I bought a new Mercedes Benz with a little bit of negative equity. And
Right.
my wife helped me get the car, but the price of the car was double. It wasn't doubled. It had like 10,000 over on it. And with my credit the way it is, my credit's not bad, but it's fair.
mhm,
With my credit the way it is, with the negative equity I had, and then a little bit of money to put down, bro, they still wanted to give me like a 7% interest rate.
mhm.
But with
Right.
my wife helping me out, we got the interest rate down to 2.9, which is really 3%, which
Hey,
Right.
that's
actually brought
good.
it down. It brought
Right.
it down, but still, the price of it was still high as hell.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
You
But
know,
isn't it
so
funny?
so
Isn't it funny? Isn't it funny about the trucking industry though? Everything up but the rates.
everything,
yeah,
everything up,
everything is
everything
up.
up,
Everything is up
mhm,
but the
yeah,
rates. You know what I'm saying?
everything up.
And that's the sad part. And that's when if we talk about regulation, then I wouldn't mind regulation stepping in about the rates. Hey man, everything else is up. These rates need to get up. But it's
I
hard to do
mean,
that. It's hard to do that when everything, like you said, is deregulated. You could work with whoever you want to work with. There's nobody saying that this is the bar. This is the
Yeah, that's
bar.
what I'm saying. I
Yeah.
think it needs to. I think it needs a facelift. I don't think the government need to be in it as much as they was in 1935 to 1980, but I do think it needs a facelift. Like we do need a little bit of regulation within this industry because if we don't, man, this you see where it's at now. Let's see where it's at 20 years from
It's
now.
yeah,
and we need enforcement. That's the key.
Yeah,
You
but
like you said, we got broker transparency, but they're not enforcing it.
right,
Because
but you'll have people that'll sit there and argue with me and not really argue but debate and go back and forth and say, well, when the government did have their hands on it, y'all didn't want it. But
right.
times have changed now. Times have changed. So I think it needs a facelift. And that's the conversation that I want to start having with people because in order to understand what this industry is now, we got to go back in history and do our research on our history. And you'll understand why it is the way it is. And it does need to be strengthened. It needs to be regulations in place, but not too many regulations to where it's going to hurt us again like it did in 1935.
that's the
Well, that's why
that's the weird thing about regulation. It's like I think it's DEI. I don't mind the diversity, equity, inclusions, but I think with any kind of regulation, with any kind of government mandates, it always come with somebody can manipulate it even more worse. It seems like right.
Yeah.
right.
Anytime the government
Oh,
touches something like taxes, tax supposed to be some temporary thing. You only supposed to put like 3%. That was 12%, 20%.
Right.
If
yeah.
the government get
Say
involved, it snowballs.
With DEI, man, we need to start boycotting Walmart. Walmart, when soon as Trump got elected, the very next day, Walmart said, "Fuck y'all, DEI." Look it up.
Hmm.
No, for real.
Yep,
Look it
they
up.
oh
did.
yeah,
They
Wal-
yeah.
did.
Walmart did away with that shit.
Yep,
Right.
yep.
And a lot of other companies secretly did away with that shit too, because that just lets you go to know, yeah, we were playing in y'all face with that equal shit, but now that we got our guy back, oh, it's fuck y'all. We didn't want that shit for y'all anyway. And
Yeah,
that's how
man.
Walmart made me feel when I found out that the very next morning they cut that shit. That was the first thing, the very first thing they cut when Trump got elected. He ain't even been elected 5 hours, and Walmart said, "Oh yeah, we cutting that shit."
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I feel double sided about that because now you have an influx of immigrants, and that plays into it too. Like how their favoritism, how they're trying to be biased towards them, but we're included in that. We're of color, so you
right,
can't really separate it. But
right.
it's one of those things, man. I
Hey,
think we're
my man Carolina Breeze, that's my man Brandon. Man, I went to high school with him. He said he need one of these hats.
Oh, he got DM. And everybody that
DM him,
DM me
Brandon.
about
DM him.
everybody that DM me, I'm not sending you no half for free. But all
Hey, I told Marcus.
I'm
I
like, yo, I'll see you.
told,
Like people be like, man, I need one of them hats. I'm like, look, just send me a dub, bro. That covers the shipping.
that's
I get
it.
it
That's
there.
good.
That's all I tell them. I said, send me a dub, bro.
hey,
I got like a bunch of hats. I'm just trying to, send me a dub, get you the shipping. Might even throw a shirt in there. Oh
Damn,
man,
bro. A dub good, bro.
I thought it was free. I'm like,
hey, hey,
nigga. Like,
I told Marcus. I
I'm
told
like,
Marcus. I was
all
like,
right.
I'm in the South. I'm in the South, man. People think they say "Make
Yeah, me
America Great Again," man.
Yeah.
I be getting looks.
Yeah, me too.
Boy, I be getting looks, man. Oh, it was funny. This goes to show you that people don't read. I was in the jewelry store today. I had to go get my wife's wedding ring cleaned today. And the jewelry lady was like, "I like your hat and your sweatshirt. This country needs to go back." And I like, oh, she didn't read it. She think it say "Make America Great Again." White
Yeah,
lady too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
yeah.
So
I went to a
yeah, people
Mexicans
don't read.
spot with this hat on, and they were looking at me the Mexicans spot.
Yeah.
I'm like, and my wife like
Now
your hat. I'm like,
I told
oh,
Marcus, on the phone privately. I said, "You really fuck people up. You make these hats red."
Oh, it's a wrap. They on the way.
hmm
It's
and
a
put
wrap.
They on
45,
the way.
47 on the side.
Nah,
Oh, it's a wrap.
I'm gonna get. No, I'm gonna get. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get this in the front, and then I'm gonna get the America patch, like the flag on the side.
Yeah,
I already got
$50 a
yeah.
my
hat.
But
see
one,
my wife exactly. See, my wife was telling me, she's like, you need to start doing this. I said, I'm going to. I said, but I said the hat that I got, I just tell people like, yo, just give me a dub, man. I said, I'll ship it to you, whatever. Like, whatever.
It's
I
worth
don't,
a dub.
these are like a prototype. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah.
Everybody like them. You sell them, send me a dub. They like, oh, I thought it was free. I'm like, nigga, so you want to just pay for your shipping too? Like, golly,
Yeah,
Got
just
you.
like,
yeah.
I'm
But
like,
hey,
man,
guys,
hilarious.
I'm out running errands. I'm here at the post office. I got to run in here right quick. But one thing I want to say before I jump off here, um, this year, the year education, I want us all to be vigilant, educate each other, educate ourselves. But also, I want to say this because I realize with this YouTube space and the social media space, we combat and we fight each other. And what I mean by that is
That's
everybody is
true.
always like everybody is always like, nah, that information ain't true. That's false
Mm-hmm.
information. That
Oh
information is,
yeah.
and then so you have people out there that think that their information is the only information that should be consumed, and that they're
Correct.
always right. And I don't think that's necessarily right. And also, we have to tell people, which I tell people all the time in my videos, do your research. Just because I said it, I do my research, but do your research too. Don't be easily followed. Do your research. You're a leader. Do your own research. Um, because you have people that will pick apart videos and they'll be like, "Nah, that ain't right. That ain't right," and then they'll go and they'll try to scrutinize you when only thing you're trying to do is just bring information to the people that never even heard of this information in the first place. So
You,
what I want to say is we all need to educate each other, but guess what? Nobody is above nobody. If we all
right.
can do this together, then we can all reach everybody together.
That's the one thing I love leave. That's the one thing I love is I get a lot of messages and everybody be like, yo, man, keep that shit going.
Yeah,
Because yeah, I don't really I look at the comments here and there. I don't
yeah,
like, focus on them.
right.
But you have your people on there trying to hate. But what I do is when I post stuff, like I said, it even says it in my bio. My bio says my POV, and it doesn't mean I'm
Yep,
always right.
yep.
It
Right,
says it in my bio.
right.
And I just push it to where you put it out there. Like, I talk about like PSIs, tires and stuff. And one guy be like, or when I talked about like the coolant reservoir, one guy was like, yeah, make sure he added on there. He didn't say I was wrong. He said, everything is good, but just make sure you don't fill it all the way up to the
So,
top because of pressure.
so
I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
that's that exactly. You know what I'm saying? So what I try to do
yeah,
is I put stuff on there And if you got a little more information to tie into this,
For
tie it
sure.
in there, and then now it's a bigger
For
thing because
sure,
now
bro.
because some people read the comments.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
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 yeah, yeah. Okay,
for
you
sure.
learn it
Yeah,
off of the comments. You
right.
know what I'm saying? So I'm
And
gonna
My
keep doing it. I'm gonna,
I'm trucking
my thing
insurance
is,
expert.
yeah,
So
yeah,
I
that's
know
why
they're
you
gonna
need to
pick
make
me
more
apart.
videos.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I'm worried about because I know it's insurance agents out there. Even though I'm right and I say things
it
vague,
don't matter.
trust me, this guy's been in the game
you can't be
25 years. I can
like
pick all
that.
my shit
You
apart.
Yeah,
you
it
you
don't it
can't
don't
you can't
matter. It don't
you
matter
can't
because
be
you know
like that.
why?
You can't.
You know why? Because they ain't doing it.
Yeah.
Right.
They they
I get, bro.
they not mad at the information. They mad because
They
they
They ain't
ain't
not
doing it
doing
yet.
it.
right. And also to piggyback off of what Marcus said, bro. I'm the most controversial person in trucking right now, and
Yeah,
I have
yeah,
very
you
good
are.
information.
You
I
are.
have very good information. I'm not saying that all my information is right, but I do a lot of research. But also, you have people that will just pick you apart because they hate you. You're more
Yes.
popular than them. You got more followers than them. So, because I hate when people get on my videos and in the comments and they try to pick it apart. I'm cool with you picking it apart positively. Like the guy was saying to Marcus, like, hey, make sure you talk about this. Okay, cool. But then when they try to pick it apart negatively, I don't try to really go back and forth with them, but I hate it, and the reason why I hate it is because first of all, I got a voice. You don't have a voice. Go make your own voice. You can make.
Right,
Yep.
right.
What's stopping you from making your own YouTube channel and making your own Instagram and start doing live and doing your own thing and having your own voice?
You
Like
know what
what's
it
like
is? They don't want to put in the work. That's why I was talking to Alante about just talking about people in general. You
Yeah.
know, people look at your social media, they look at your followers, they look at your YouTube, and they want the same thing that you got. And maybe they tried it for a week and they didn't get 11,000 followers, they didn't get $1 million
right,
views, so they
right,
upset and they saying, "Why is this dude doing it?" Well,
right.
shit, the dude he do 8 videos a day. He been doing this for years. You
Yeah,
know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like
yeah.
he putting in the work. And that's why I was talking to Alante about even just with drivers and stuff like that. A lot of people out there now just don't want to work, bro. They want the instant success. I set up
I'll
my
say,
YouTube, I set up my Instagram, I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna be successful just like him. Nah, this nigga put in
yep.
time. I put in
I
time. Alante
I'll
put in
say
time.
that. I'll say that, and to capitalize off of that, I realized that most of these haters that don't have their own voice, bro, they not popular enough. They not interesting enough. On
Yeah.
YouTube is one of the most hardest grinds, bro. I'm not even because you got to catch people's attention and you got to keep their attention. And the nigga that's hate or the person that's hating that don't have a voice, let's say they go and try to make their own YouTube and stuff like that. They do it. Go back to what you said, Marcus. Ain't nobody watching them because they not interesting.
Right.
But they want to come over to my page and they want to hate.
But it takes
Mm-hmm.
it. But you know what's crazy? It takes time to be interesting, bro.
It
It takes time.
Yeah.
does.
It takes time
It
because
does.
your consistency. When we talk about, oh, why I was talking to my wife about this in the morning. You talk about why this person popular, why Kim Kardashian popular, bro. When she first started, nobody cared about Kim Kardashian, bro.
Mhm.
But she was so
Yeah.
consistent on the post. On you always see her, and you like, who is this? You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And just like
Yeah.
CDL Shorty, you be like, yo, I don't like this nigga, but I see him all the time, so I'm gonna watch.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm
Yep.
saying?
Yep.
I'm
Yep.
gonna
Yo, I
watch. If
I
if
just
you
recently.
everywhere, bro, you can't not watch me. If I'm everywhere, bro, you gonna be like, you know what? I'm gonna watch this nigga now. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Let me just because
Right.
he everywhere. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? And that's how you gotta be in
Right.
the social media. You gotta be everywhere.
Yep.
Everywhere. That's just what it is.
I tell I tell a lot of people, man, y'all, I got 50,000 subscribers on YouTube. I thank God. I'm blessed and I'm very humble. But bro, I've been on YouTube almost 4 years.
That's what I'm
I
saying.
just started popping on YouTube, but I've
That's
been
what it
on YouTube for 4 years. It wasn't like I just made this yesterday and I got 50,000. No, it was a grind. I started out with 43 people subscribers for like, I think it was like for 5, maybe 6 months. And I started to get discouraged. And my brother told me, I never forget this. My brother said, I was like, man, I only got 43 subscribers and it's been for a couple months, man. Ain't nobody watching. And my brother said this, what changed my mindset. My brother said, yeah, but you got a strong 43. You got a strong
exactly.
43. And then I just kept going. I kept going and going and going.
I feel the same way
And that's
about my 600. I got 6 going on 7 now. Trust me. They be
Yeah.
asking me stuff. I'm like, damn, this is a strong 700.
Bro,
Yes.
I've been looking at
Yes.
my thing. I'm like, bro, I'm just trying to get to 3,000 and keep going. 290, 2,992, 2,995, and then back to
Right.
two. I'm like, yo, can
Right.
I get to the 3K? Can I get 3K, please? I just want to get 3K. You know what I'm saying? Three's my
Right.
favorite number. I'm like, yo, I'm just looking at it like, yeah, I'm getting close. I'm getting close.
Yeah.
And then
You
next you know, I
getting
dropped more.
close.
I'm like, how? Who unfollowed me? What did I do
Right.
wrong? I'm
Yeah.
like,
It be like that.
Yeah,
You,
I'm
hey,
like, you
yeah.
know, but I'm
my YouTube be
just
like
like,
that too, man. It did a drop, and then some are unsubscribe, and some are subscribe, and stuff like that. But you just gotta keep going. Don't get
yeah, that's
discouraged
what it
by it.
is,
Keep
man.
going.
And then, like you said, if you don't do it for the likes, the views, like you said, we doing it for information. We doing it to
Yep.
put the information out there and for people to use.
Yep.
We're not doing it. That's what I was saying. I talked to my wife about. I said, you know, the people that just put the information out there or make these videos just because they want to make videos, they're not doing it for the likes, for the views. Those are the people who are successful because your main goal is not to be popular and make money. Your main goal is to put education out there.
Yep.
Yep.
It's to educate people. It's to
Yep.
help people. The
You
other
want to
stuff will
know?
come.
You want to know what's funny with this content space, bro? And you tell me, Marcus, if you ran into this too, bro. You put your all into one video. You put your all into it. You'll go all out. You'll buy some stuff. You'll be like, oh, this video about to be popping. You put it on there. Don't nobody watch the shit. But then you go out and you be like, I ain't in a good mood today. I'ma just throw this on. I ain't gonna spend no money, man. I'ma just shoot this video right here, and that be the one that go viral.
Yep.
So the
Am I
video,
lying, Marcus?
the video. So that one video I got is at three. It's almost at 400,000 views. It's
Yeah,
at 392,000.
yeah,
I did that video. That was a 1 minute video, and I was pulling into the Amazon. So I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna make it just a random video.
yep,
No, trying to be perfect. Because if you look at the video, I'm looking back and forth because I'm driving. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
But I have my
Hmm.
glasses on.
Right.
Not saying like, oh, I'm gonna be right here. I'm gonna put. It was just that. I got another video that I posted yesterday, and that video was from like 2 months ago. And
Mm-hmm.
it's me
Mm.
driving, and I'm talking about automatic drivers and manual drivers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I'm saying that, yo, automatic drivers, look, bro, you still a trucker, bro. You still deal with the same shit. You not nothing less. That was my point of the video, right?
Right. Right.
That video going up. That video going
Yeah.
up. I was like, oh, I might have
Yep.
another one. And that video
Yep.
was from 2 months ago.
Yep.
Because I was just going through my phone. I'm like, I got some more good videos.
Yep.
And I just posted it. And I'm like, yo, this about to go up too. This about to be another 500,000 views right here. Because
Yep. So all
like
you gotta do is
CDL
keep
told,
going.
that's what CDL told me, is the engagement. So when I see now that people go in there and they engaging and they
Yeah.
talking, like, nah,
Yeah.
if you were automatic, nah, if you were automatic,
Yeah.
you ain't no trucker. I'm getting
Yep.
all that right now. I'm like, oh, this
That's
another one. This one about to go.
that's the
I said,
cheat
this one about
code.
to go.
Mm-hmm.
This one
That's
about to
the cheat
go.
code.
I'm
So
like, but
that's why sometimes.
yeah.
No, go ahead, Marcus.
No, I'm just saying, and I put no energy into that, bro. I was just talking. I was just driving and talking, and I did another video talking about, hey, you know what? Trucking needs a brotherhood. That's the reason why. That's the reason why that trucking is different than now today. We need a brotherhood. That one going up. That one's almost at 10K. And it was just ones I was just driving and just talking about something that was on my mind. And you just like, I didn't prepare for it. I didn't say I'm gonna be in front of the truck. I'm just talking, bro. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? And you can't even see me in the video. That's the
Right.
crazy part.
Y'all keep talking. I'm gonna run in this post office, but y'all keep talking.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, and to piggyback off what you guys are saying, exactly what I'm doing. I
What is
got some
sir?
videos recorded.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Go ahead.
I got some videos recorded of me, like conversations I'm having with some of my clients as well. So I'm trying to figure out how I can like take some of those conversations, because people ask me a lot of questions about. I had this one lady, about the coverage, but she was paying like 25,000 a month for one truck, and I got like
Damn.
little stories like that for sure, bro.
Oh, shout out my
25K a woman.
man Jay Williams on here.
Yeah. What he say? He said, "Nah, fam, they aren't real truckers. I'm just kidding."
But hey, Marcus, that's that engagement though. Remember I told you that's the cheat code. Whenever you make a
That's what it
video,
is.
whenever
Yup.
you make a video and you got people in the comments that's arguing, going back and forth, that's what you want.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
want
Mhm.
that.
You want that. So I was
Let
talking to
let
my
them be
boy.
wrong, let them be right. But guess what? You want that engagement. It's gonna make the video go up.
But that's what
I
I was
love when
talking
they
to my
argue.
I was talking to my boy about that. I was like, yeah, man, my guy told me just you know when so now when you making videos, you kind of making videos like you in the middle, and you know there's two sides to it. Like you know there's two sides to what I'm about to talk about, and if you pick a side, you know somebody gonna go against that, and then that's what happens. You know what I'm saying? So I started to learn that. So I'm starting to look at my videos. I'm like, oh yeah, this can spark something. This could spark something. I'm giving you information, but it can still spark. You know, just like right now, like look, everybody talking about the manual. The you see what I'm saying? Even on the comments, you know what I'm saying? A
Mhm.
manual is a real man's truck. Man, I would say, look, man, if you know how to drive a manual, respect to you, but it's not needed anymore. I feel like you know, automatic trucks do what manuals do because you can control the gears on automatic trucks. You know what I'm saying? What you think, Alante?
I mean, I'm more of a 13 speed guy myself, so I'm biased. I'm biased. That's why I didn't put my position in because I'm biased.
No, you can.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm in the
I
post office. I gotta go,
all
y'all.
right,
All right,
all right,
CDL.
all right.
Appreciate you
Talk to
tuning
you.
in, brother.
All right.
See you next time.
All right. Love y'all, man.
Look,
Likewise, late too, brother.
All right. How I get out this thing? I think Mark. I think you gotta close me out, Marcus.
And you
let me
can
see.
swipe the app off.
Yeah, you should be able to click out. I don't know how to click you out.
Swipe
Uh,
the app off, bro.
You got like an X. You got an X on the top right hand corner.
Come on, CDL. I know we got it, baby. Come on.
We gotta bring. I
I
don't know
think
Sir J
he
Williams, but we got
gone.
it's because we gotta bring Sir J Williams in this chat. I don't know, but he talking about the transmission. Sir J Williams, man, if you can't try to get a get in. Can you hear me? Can you hear
I
me, Alante?
can hear you. Can you see me?
Yeah, I can see you. Just yeah, CDL. It's like stuck. Let me
Yeah,
see.
it's spinning. Okay, CDL got kicked out. All right, cool. That's how he wanted it. But nah, bro. I'm a 13 speed guy. I started at 13.
I get like I said, I get it, man. Look. I get it. I
Mhm.
get it. Much respect. Much respect. If you could drive a manual, great.
13
Okay,
speed.
13 speed. If you could do that, but I'm just saying, like, if you do it, a Sir J Williams, can you still let us know if you can still hear us? Um, but I think, look, I'm not disrespecting the manual drivers, but all I say is like, look, when I in my video, I just said like, look, just because you drive an automatic, don't mean you're not a trucker.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? It's because you still in that truck, you still dealing with the same shit on that
Mhm.
road. If you a trucker, bro, you still dealing with the same shit that somebody can drive as a can you see us, Sir J Williams? Um, but do
We
I
can add him
feel that is
in. Try to
needed?
add him in. We can add him in.
Let me see if I how do you add as a moderator?
And Ernest, you
Just
need
add
to
as a moderator?
get on one too, bro. Ernest, I seen you at the thing in Atlanta with CDL Shorty, baby. We gotta link up, Ernest. You already know it, baby. You gotta link up. You already know. We gotta get on live one day.
How
He
do
said
you
I sent
add?
a request.
You did? Let me see. Let me see. I think I accepted him. I think I accepted you, Sir J Williams. Let's see. What's up,
There we
brother?
go.
Hey,
Nice to meet you,
yeah,
brother.
automatic, baby. We in them automatics. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
uh,
okay.
No.
Hey, it look
Okay,
clean in
big
there
time,
too. It
big
look
time.
clean. You got it clean in there.
Hey, big time.
It look
Yeah.
clean too,
Nah,
bro.
man. Nah. Hey, that's fake. That's fake.
Nah. Yeah, yeah.
What's
Y'all
good,
He got
brother?
it
beautiful
clean in
brothers,
there too,
What,
man.
bro.
what
Man,
you?
it's a pleasure to meet y'all, man. I actually met y'all through
Yeah,
Shorty.
Nice to meet you too,
Pleasure to
brother.
meet you too,
So
brother.
You got
yeah, man.
a
Yeah,
clean in there, don't you? You got a
but
Kenworth?
yeah. I got a
Okay.
W900.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. Okay.
I'm actually about to get a Pete that's stretched out and all that good stuff.
What you
So
Where you
what you
yeah.
located at,
hauling?
brother?
Hmm?
Yeah, where you located? What you hauling?
So
Where you located?
so
What you hauling?
I haul mostly steel,
Okay.
and I'm located in Huntsville, Alabama,
Okay.
but on the
Mm-hmm.
countryside.
Okay.
Now, right now I'm actually You're about to pick up some brick to go back towards there.
Right.
Okay.
So, but yeah, all I haul is steel, like steel sheets. That's it.
That's cool.
Coils here and there, but and then if it gets slow, I'll do lumber. But I have customer freight, so it doesn't really get too slow for me.
Do you go
So are you
to
like?
Memphis?
Oh yeah,
I'm
go
sorry.
ahead. No,
You go to
you
Memphis on a regular?
You said where Memphis?
Yeah. The only
Nah,
reason I
bro.
asked, the
Nah,
only
bro.
reason, so I used to haul Huntsville. To me is kind of like from coming from Georgia. I have to go to the mountain to go to Huntsville. It's a long road going to Huntsville. You know what I'm talking about? It's like a mountain. It's like a steep highway. It's like a mountain almost to go to Huntsville, bro.
Uh, so you got 72, um, 565, 65,
Oh,
231.
okay. I'm gonna look this
But
up.
you got a few of them. But um, oh, and then if you're just going like to Nashville, you got to go up Mount Eagle. You
Oh,
got to go
you
that way.
know what I went to? I went to Decatur, Alabama, and
Okay, so you went over the bridge and stuff.
yeah, and I remember just yep, and you go straight up because I went to Huntsville as well. But for me, I felt like I went the back road perhaps, and it was like really mountainy and to me, it's not Colorado mountains, it's not West Virginia mountains. Because to a
No, because
trucker,
I'm
you hear
trying
mountain,
to
you like,
think like
man, you probably been
I'm trying
to
to
Colorado.
yeah I'm trying to think because you said mountainy.
How about this? It's 65 kind of mountainy going up towards. I'm not
Okay.
looking like I'm looking crazy right now. I'm a real trucker. I'm looking crazy right now. Hold on. I'm looking crazy. 65, bro. I feel like 65 at a certain point. To me, it don't get mountainy. It's not because you're thinking
It,
like
it's
Mount Eagle.
it's hilly.
Yeah,
It's hilly.
yeah, for
Like if
sure,
you're going towards, so let's just say you're going 65 up to Nashville.
for sure.
Very hilly.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Very hilly.
saying. Yeah,
Um, but if you're going the other way, well,
mhm.
actually, if you're going on 20 towards Atlanta, it's hilly as well. Like
Yeah. I come from
like
Atlanta.
really hilly.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. Do
Yeah, and
you
some
still
of
live
those
there or?
back roads to go to Huntsville, in my opinion, especially the back roads, I went the back way. I don't know why. It's really hilly.
So wait, did you go through Rome?
I think I did go to
You
Rome.
must have went through Rome, and then it dumped you off on 72.
It's been so long, bro.
That's
God
probably what it
Were
Almighty.
you
was.
were
Yeah,
you
it was. It
in
was
the
my.
woods?
I was in the woods, bro.
Yeah,
Yep.
so you went through Rome. You went through Rome, came up the mountain. It
Mhm.
was like a on if you're going towards Huntsville, it was like a huge mountain, and you could see the water and the drop off over
Yeah,
there, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah. You came through.
yeah.
I don't go that way.
I know it was kind of hard to kind of like place it where exactly where I went, but I used to do loads coming out of Atlanta area, go
Mm.
to Huntsville all the time. And I remember when I get off 20, I would make a exit. It would take me through the back way, and it was mountainy and hilly. I'm like, and the roads were small. So I was always like, damn, it's like a mountain going up through here, man. And Huntsville, you would think to go through the back way is like that. But
Yeah, it's
yeah,
like that. I mean, when you get on 72 and then 565, I don't know when's the last time you've been through Huntsville, but it's grown a lot.
I can only
Like
imagine. Yeah.
a, the infrastructure is crazy. That's why I'm in the hub where freight is.
It's
Decatur,
beautiful there too.
Athens, Huntsville, Birmingham is right up the road.
hmm hmm
So I'm Pullman. So it's like
hmm
everywhere is everywhere around is like a hub for freight.
hmm
Is it like
Okay.
a hub
Like
more for like because you're doing flatbed, right?
yeah, but it's a hub for everything, brother. It's
Really?
I mean flatbed. He said I live in you live in Harvest. That's crazy. Harvest is right down the street. I live in Hazel Green, so it's right down the street from me where he is. But yeah, I mean, even for van, man, like van, grain trucks, like cement
How far?
dump trucks.
Where is Bessemer,
Oh,
Alabama?
Bessemer is below Birmingham.
yeah,
It's
Below.
south of
Yeah,
Birmingham.
I've
yeah,
had my trucks go down there to Bessemer, and
yeah.
we gotten stuff out of there too. As soon as we got in, and it's dropping hook too. drop
Yep,
it, and
Best
then
yep.
was a good
something else is
point.
ready. I'm like, damn, I was like, Alabama cracking like this. I was like,
Bro,
all right.
look,
I didn't know
look.
that
I
because
had,
usually
like
my
I said,
trucks be
I
on
had
the
customers.
West Coast. Usually my trucks be on the West. Now we all over there, Carolina. We be in Bessemer. We be all through there, man. Virginia's is cracking too right now. I
Yeah.
don't know what it is about Virginia cracking too.
I
So yeah,
heard Virginia. There was a lot going on in Virginia now. I
it's a
heard
lot
about
going.
that.
It's a lot
But
going out of Virginia. Even with the drop and hook, the Kadu drop and hook. There's a lot coming out of Virginia too. A lot. That's like just
I
keep
stay
that shit going.
southeast.
Yeah,
I stay southeast, so I do Alabama, Tennessee, Georgia, a lot of Georgia,
yeah.
and Florida. That's all I do.
That's
okay.
That's
cool.
all
Yeah.
I do.
What's
And
the rate? What's the mile radius on that? Like, what's your
Less than
radius? Thousand
500, probably
miles?
like
500?
350.
500?
Probably like 350.
the
I'm
radius
guessing.
about a
Really?
thousand.
A thousand? That's
Yeah,
cool.
yeah, about 1,000 radius.
That's cool.
Because I go all through Florida,
Oh,
Yeah.
so
yeah.
I'll do Boca Raton, I'll do Jacksonville, or I
Uh-huh.
just came back from Orlando. I'm actually in Macon, Georgia right now, picking up some brick,
Uh-huh.
and
Okay.
I'm going to Nashville with it on Monday,
Hmm.
but then I'll be coming right back out to Orlando.
And this is
But
You home on the weekends?
this is all
that's my
one
route.
customer? Is one customer?
One customer, yeah.
Don't you obviously don't tell us the customer, but tell us how did you get the customer? What did you do
O-
to get
Okay,
it?
so
How did it fall? I don't want to say fall in your lap, but how did you work hard to get this customer?
I'm gonna say this. It was all it's just God's timing, bro. It
Right.
was all like stacking up for me when I was doing lease purchasing, which I
Okay.
strongly recommend not do. But I was
Yeah.
doing lease purchase, and in that I was picking out my own loads. Like I was going to load board and just finding
Mhm.
loads. So it just so happened that, and I don't care to share. They're called
Yeah.
Freeman Industries, right next to Nucor in Decatur.
Okay.
So and they do coils and steel plates. That's all they do. And so it's like it was all being set up because I wasn't making a lot of money running for who I was running for,
Of course.
and so it was just all being lined up because they were like, well, when you get your own authority, let us know
Right.
and we'll put you on, because I was hauling for them all the time,
Right.
so it just so happened that as soon as I got my authority, they were like, all right, I was hauling for them the next day. And the ironic part about it is that my first load was my father's birthday, November 3rd. He's
Wow.
no longer with us, but that's
Right.
where I got my the name from my trucking company, Running Scared Trucking.
Right.
His CB handle was Running Scared.
Wow.
So, yeah, so I've been in this my entire life. I'm
He
going to
was a
be
trucker.
39. Yeah, he's a trucker. I've
Salute.
been in this my entire life. I'm going to be 39 years old, and I've been in trucking, whether it was behind the desk, because I used to be a broker and a dispatcher as well.
Right.
And so now I'm going to branch off and trying to do other things, but I'm definitely still going to be in trucking, but I'm branching off to be, to add that broker side to it as well.
Right. Right.
What do you
But
feel
Yeah.
that's what
about?
yeah.
What do you feel about? Because this is a good conversation. 'Cause me and Marcus talk about frequently about why you're in trucking, how you leverage it as a stepping stool or a pivot to get something greater, something not to leave trucking, but to add onto your portfolio. Like, I don't want to get too deep in your goals and your dreams, and But what do you think? Something that would interest a common truck driver to get in addition to trucking.
Well, like for me, I do I do consulting as well, because
Hmm.
I know both sides of this thing
Mm-hmm.
like
Right.
very well. And
Right.
I was always the type that never really had the capital to do the things that I really wanted to do.
I understand that.
Right.
It's been backslide after backslide after backslide for me.
Right.
But in those things, I've learned, how to just persevere
Mm-hmm.
Right.
and just keep the motions in order to really get what you want or want to branch off to something. It has to be something that you really can see yourself doing other than trucking.
Mm-hmm.
You-
Right.
And if you invest in that on that side of it, just as long, this is my theory. You never master trucking,
No.
never, because
Because
trucking is like life. You're always
what did you say, Alante? It's always changing. How can
Trucking
you master
is like
something that's always changing? You can't.
trucking is like life, and
Right.
when trucking is like life,
Yeah.
like you can never be too certain. You're like, yo, I found it. Then all of a sudden, oh well, we got to do this, we got to do
Changes.
that. So they
Right.
drop you,
Right.
So like for me, my whole goal ever since I was 7 years old was to have a trucking business.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
I always
Wow.
wanted. Well, that was the first vehicle I learned how to drive too.
Right.
I learned how to drive a 9-speed cab over Mack truck.
Oh
Wow.
wow. Cowboy
Steering
shit.
wheel was steering wheel was bigger than me.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. You was driving like
So
this.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
It was
I,
your dad's cab over?
yeah. My dad's. I used to drive. Well, I used to sit in the passenger seat. I could shift a 9-speed and a 10-speed when I was 4 years old.
Damn.
Wow.
See your vein,
Yeah.
bro.
So I love doing this. I know it changes all the time, but look, I look up to him.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I know for a fact that
Absolutely.
there's no such thing. And failure is not an option anyway. That's
Correct.
never an option. Failure is never an option. So, to answer your question, I know I went on a tangent, but to answer your question, brother, you have to find what it is that you are good at in life and monopolize on it.
Yeah.
Right.
Find something that you like to do and see how you can monopolize on it. Do
Correct.
your research. The problem today is that people try to get into things and they try to be fly by night millionaires. I tell
Wow.
people all the time, trucking is not going to make you a millionaire.
Mhm.
A
Preach,
lot of
preach,
even said
brother.
that.
You
Yeah.
might have to say that
You right.
again.
You know,
Say it for the
and it,
people in the back.
like, bro,
Yeah.
even in the 90s,
Yeah.
everybody knows how much easier it was back then.
Right.
But it's never like right now, this was never to make me rich. Ever since my pop died, this was always to, you know, be able to do things that I want to do with my family,
Mhm.
be able to have my mom retire.
Right.
And then me branching off into things like real estate
Yes. Yep.
and and investing in people that I know have that drive and that passion for whatever they do, but
Right.
especially in trucking.
One
Like I
of
was
the
on
big.
Fresh Fit podcast talking about trucking,
Oh
and
wow.
and bro, the amount of feedback, the amount of positive feedback I got was amazing. And the reason why I got into this also is so that I don't understand why people withhold knowledge, but the reason I got into this was for people to avoid the pitfalls that I went through already.
Mhm.
That's why
Right.
I tell people, I'm like, y'all want to get into trucking? You want to make some money? Get an older truck.
Mhm.
That way you can run
Mm-hmm.
that paper log.
Right.
Mhm.
Right. Yeah. True.
I'll tell
Mhm.
You're right.
people that all the time. All my trucks, like every truck I've driven, never had an e-log.
Mhm.
Now, I'm not telling you to do anything illegal, but what I'm saying is that you don't have to worry about that death fuel.
Tell me about it.
Most things,
Preach.
most things on
Preach.
older motors are mechanical. My favorite motor is a 60 series Detroit. That's just my personal
Me
favorite.
too.
I have cats,
12.7?
but I also like an N. Yeah, 12.7,
Okay.
of course.
All
I
right. Okay.
also like it. I also like an N14 now.
Okay. Okay.
N14s are, to be honest with you, them and 60 series have about the same lifespan.
Okay.
You
For sure.
can reach well over 1,000,000 with both of them.
Yeah.
I mean, hell, if you treat a cat good, you'll reach over 1,000,000 with it. But they're finicky.
But
Right.
this conversation, Marcus, you being in California, because he's in California, we're in the
Oh,
South.
you
My
He
live
truck.
got
in
lucky.
Cali?
Yeah. He
You know
got
what? You
Yeah.
look
lucky.
like a Cali dude too.
Oh,
Yeah.
damn.
No, I'm
So,
joking.
Yeah.
I'm joking, bro.
Yeah.
so I
I
see.
thought maybe you were maybe like up north, probably like Maryland, Philly, Jersey
It can
area.
go for that.
Why? Nah, I'm from Cali. I live in Cali. A lot of my family is from Oklahoma, so I'm
Okay.
actually kind of a Midwest by them.
Okay.
Okay,
But yeah,
okay.
we in Cali. I live in Cali. My company was based out of California,
So you have a
but then I ended.
company.
I have a company. Yeah, I got 5 trucks.
Mhm.
Yeah. So, and then what I ended up doing with my company was I moved it to Wyoming. So I have a Wyoming-based company. The
Ah,
reason
okay.
why I had to do that because insurance tripled the last time I had to, and it wasn't because of my drivers or anything. It was just because a lot of insurance companies left California,
They
so
did.
the ones that were there were capitalizing.
Hmm.
So it was cheaper for me to move my company to Wyoming, have an assistant, and pay for. I have an office out there, which is like $500 a month. It was cheaper for me to have that than to keep my company in California by a long shot. So my
That's
trucks,
smart.
I can do the same thing like how you're doing, but all my trucks right now they're Kenworth, but they're the T680s. We have to deal with the death and all of that. But I could do the same thing like you could too, like how you're doing it. I can get the older trucks because Wyoming doesn't care. They're the same. Only place that cares about the, I think California
It's
you got to
Cali.
have a 2012 or 2012 and 2013 is California, and then now what they're doing in California is they're making everybody get smog checks on trucks, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and then you got to get the carb certified. It's a lot, man. That's why a lot of people are leaving California as far as their company, and everybody's doing it in Arizona. But then what happens when everybody goes to Arizona? The insurance goes up in
Right.
Arizona. Now
Right.
Arizona's capitalizing
Yep.
because they're like, oh, you got to come here. So Arizona, Nevada, Oregon, those are all of the states that border Cali. All their insurance went up because everybody's jumping to those states, you know. But yeah, California is the only one that has a restriction on the trucks because of the environment emissions. Um, but yeah, I'm based out of Cali, man. So I do, but my trucks they go everywhere. Like I said, my trucks right now they're in North Carolina. They've been in North Carolina, run up and down North Carolina, the East Coast, probably for the past month and a half. Because that's just where the money's at,
I,
Yeah,
you
you
know.
you can make
And
you can make money just running East Coast.
yeah,
yeah.
that's it.
That's what I feel
That's what
like.
I found out. That's what I found out, man. I got him over there. I got one driver. He's from Hurdle Mills, North Carolina. So once we got him over there, we got him over there for like Thanksgiving, and then I just start seeing like, well, you don't even need to go nowhere. You just stay in this area. He's just been running up and down. And then my other guy, he's from Cali, but he's like a nomad. Like so, he
Mm.
don't care where he go. So he was in North Carolina, Maryland, Indiana. Like he's just been running through that little, triangle there. And that's just what I've been doing. I got 3 other trucks that's open, but I'm looking for, guys like that. You just want to run, make your money. And it is what it is. But yeah,
Yeah,
Man, Cali over here, man.
Our,
and
our trucks, like, the reason why I mentioned the 12.7 because I like 14 liters, and I'm a former truck driver as well. I had 8 trucks at one point. I
wow,
had a small fleet. I had majority Cascadias and 14 liters. But my favorite, believe it or
14
not, was a
liters are nice too.
DD13. Huh?
14 liters are nice too.
It's
It's
stronger.
just that
They're better.
they have, but the only thing is they have issues. I mean, all Detroit's have issues with oil, but
Yeah.
they have an issue. They have an issue with the back of the motor always leaking.
The flywheel. Yes, they
Yeah,
do. Yep.
yeah,
Yep. And it would
and,
cost. I mean, once a year we would take it to once or twice a year we take it to the shop, get it serviced, get the flywheel serviced, and get a seal put back on. It used to be like 1,200 to a band. Now it's like 2 or 3 grand to get it done
yeah.
at certain
It,
shops.
because like so for me, I work on my own trucks, but I do have a
Okay.
mechanic that
Wow.
right up the street. You know, so but when it comes to like PMs and all that stuff, I like to try to do that stuff myself because
Yeah.
I just don't have time to be. I don't have time to just be. Oh, we can't get to you for 3 hours. I can do it in an hour.
Do you have
Right.
drivers or just you?
It's just me, but I'm hiring owner operators,
Mhm.
so they're gonna have their own equipment.
Mhm.
It's just less overhead. They're
Yeah.
gonna have their own
It's,
equipment, and
mm-hmm.
they're gonna have that's just it. They're just gonna have all their own stuff. That's it.
Are they going to run under your numbers?
Yeah, they're gonna run under my authority, but of course I'm gonna give them fuel cards too. But I
Yeah.
only wanna hire like if it gets very well, then I want to hire maybe 10 drivers.
Yeah. And I think, to be honest, that's how I had a huge, so when I first started, I had a huge contract, a big, like a nationwide contract when I first started. And that's how I was able to grow so fast was I just had people lease. I just had people leased on, and
Mm-hmm.
then you start to think like, yeah, I want to get my own trucks out of my own company, but then
Yeah.
you like, nah, the best play is to get owner operators leased under your numbers.
Mm-hmm.
That's the play. You know what I'm saying? You still got to worry about the drivers doing right on your numbers and stuff like that. But me having the owner operators and me having my own trucks, I take owner operators leased under all day
Yeah.
because, like you said, it's the maintenance. Y'all don't have to worry about your truck. That's your truck. All I'm doing is I got you to work. I'm taking my percentage. There you go. You know what I'm
And I
saying? You do what you gotta do with your truck, but you just make sure you on time.
Yeah, and here's the interesting thing about that. Like, I want you guys to make sure. Like, I'm not saying this because I'm the police, but when you add these guys in your insurance, make sure they have their own bobtail so they ain't got to be under your physical damage portion. That saves some money.
See, nobody knows that. I didn't know
You
that.
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
make
Well, yeah. That's how it works. That's how it
okay.
works.
All
You're
right,
better
cool,
off.
cool.
You're better off that way.
Yeah,
You're better off that way because if they have their own bobtail, like that's just a better way
yeah.
to do things. Better way
It's
to do
less
things.
coverage you have to haul for them. So if they have a physical damage, a bump, or they have, or better yet, they're bobtailing they go get a piece of pizza. If they're completely underneath all aspects of your policy, you're gonna take a ding if they have an accident. But versus they got their own bobtail, you want to alleviate some of kind of that risk to them. You feel me? That's
Right.
it. It ain't I mean. I ain't saying that revolutionary, but I can't tell you. I had people underneath my authority that was on cargoes. I mean, yeah, they're gonna be on the cargo under everything, and they would have stuff happen, and I was in charge of it. So,
See, that's a good video right there because I
So
didn't know
yeah,
so
that.
so what are you doing right now? If you because I know you said you had trucks, but what are you doing right now?
I'm in the trucking insurance, bro. I sell trucking insurance. Yeah, yeah,
This is wonderful. This is wonderful.
Cause
yeah,
yeah, that's how we
yeah.
do it.
I
I
gotta
mean,
start posting more.
W networking.
Yeah,
W networking.
I gotta definitely start posting more so I can get to you and CDL level for like followers. Um, but for the longest, I just didn't want to post, man, because I didn't want to be online talking about talking. It just, but I
I
said, you know
bro,
what?
I get it. I get it, bro. I get it. I get it. Like I tried it. I'm just like, yo, I cannot be online all the time. I don't have the time to do it. I just cannot be online all the time, bro. I
Right.
don't have the time to do it. You know,
But
But I'm
like
so influenced by you, Marcus, CDL, other guys who are in the space. They're like, damn, man, I want to get out and be more outgoing because it's people who me, you, and Marcus and CDL. We've been through the same thing in trucking. We had a truck. We know the ups and downs. You work on your truck, so you probably been through way worse stuff. Break it down on the side of the roads. You got to get on the ground, pull your toolbox out, work on shit your damn self, fix lines, air leaks, hoses. You probably do all that yourself, so you understand.
I see that
uh
I started doing the social media really, man, just because I just wanted to. It was kind of like I wanted to help people, but also too I wanted just to vent and kind of tell people about my experience. Because when I first got on there, everybody was making it seem like trucking was so damn
see
easy.
Mhm.
see
Oh
this?
yeah, what is that?
Gotta have that toolbox.
Oh yeah,
Toolbox.
Yeah, yeah, for
toolbox.
sure.
Yeah, oh yeah, gotta have
That's
that.
Yeah,
that's something you got to make, Marcus.
Huh?
that's my pop
A
that's my
toolbox.
pop's
Yep.
toolbox.
Yep.
That's my pop's toolbox. He had that toolbox before I was even born.
Wow, that's
So
crazy.
so I so I keep it on the road with me to remind me like, look, man,
Yeah,
Yeah.
you ain't gotta pay nobody. Like I'm not about to pay somebody to put a hose on for me.
bro,
Just as long as I
Right.
have coolant and stuff,
Right.
I'm good.
Right.
And I
bro, a
try to keep
belt,
that stuff on me at all times. Yep.
especially on
Belt,
those
coolant.
those Detroit's 60 series, the belt tensioner. It's a little thing to go in front, and just a simple belt. You can just put it on. You got to push the thing down and pull back. You slide the belt on. Those things you don't know. And on top of that, Marcus, everybody who should be in trucking should have a toolbox in their truck, bro.
Oh yeah.
That's
Yeah.
period.
Oh
That's a
yeah.
Okay.
law.
And
So
you should
so
be able to do some of the simple stuff, man. Like there's a lot of simple stuff on there. Like when I was driving, I used to work on my car. I have a 1984 Camaro, and that's like mechanical. It's super mechanical. Ain't nothing
you
really
still you
electric.
still have it?
I still have it. So I used to work on my
Yeah, I got
cars. I used to work on my car. My uncle taught me how to work on my car. So I'm not saying that I can change a whole transmission or whatever, but I can, fix some stuff here. This is messed up, a hose and all that stuff. That's what you got to do. And when I started, that's one of the first things I got was a toolbox.
Mhm.
Got a toolbox. Get a toolbox. Make sure you got all your stuff in there. And there's some stuff you can fix. And I tell drivers, like, look, you should be able, even if you're on the side of the road, you should be able to fix something or get it to a point where you can get to a shop to where you ain't got to pay $1,000 to $1,500 for somebody to come out. You
Right.
just get to the shop. You know what I'm saying? Like, get to a shop. But some drivers be like, oh, I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to do it. He's like, bro, I can't have you, bro. But then if you're an owner operator, you're gonna figure it out. when it's your dime, you're gonna figure it out. You're gonna be
That
like, you
that
know
so
what?
so so here's the thing. Here's the thing. Going back to automatic trucks. Now, I've driven one. I like them. I don't like them. So the reason I don't like them, of course, is because I need to be in control of my gears.
Yeah.
Okay.
Even with automatics, the clutch gets hotter faster
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
in
Okay.
automatics.
Okay.
And so sometimes what happens is it'll expand, then it'll close back up.
Right.
And then now you got to get a new transmission.
Mhm.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And but with the manual, and even all my cars are manuals too.
Mm.
All of
Okay.
them.
Mm.
Now, again,
You a true manual
What?
person.
What?
True. Because there's
He a
gonna be a
bad
lot of people on that, like,
mother.
oh, manual truck, but then you hop in an automatic car. Like, bro, if you ain't all manual, don't talk to me. If you
Yeah.
not all manual, do not talk to me.
And he
You
drink
know what I'm saying?
his coffee black and liquor
Yeah,
straight.
yeah. Like if you ain't all manual, bro, I don't want to hear it. Like,
Hey.
okay.
but see, the thing, I also have fast cars. Like I have a BMW E30. It's a
Yeah.
1990,
Right.
but
Okay.
it has a super motor in it. It has a
Right.
2JZ motor in it.
Mm.
And then I have a BMW, another BMW 335, a single turbo.
Right.
That
So
that car's
you
that
need a manual for that.
Mhm.
that
You need to control
car's
that.
800. That car's 800 horsepower. So it's
Right.
like I have cars that I love. I also have trucks, and I'm just like I like to be able to feel what I'm
Right.
driving. Yeah, I
See,
like to be able to feel what I'm driving.
I know how to drive manual, right?
I like the mechanics of it all.
And
It's that real driver
so when
feel.
Yeah.
my car is automatic, right?
Hmm.
But I know how to drive manual because I used to live in Europe. So
Oh.
my wife taught me how to drive my
Okay.
manual. So in Europe, because I used to play basketball overseas, I used to live in Spain. I used to live everywhere, bro.
Yeah.
So
He
Damn.
famous.
they would give you a car
Mhm.
and like they gave us a little automatic. My wife was like, "This shit ugly." They was like, "Well, we can give you a manual." And I didn't know how to drive. I didn't know how to drive manual, right? So my wife knew how to drive manual. So she's like, "I'm gonna teach you, bro. Driving a manual is fun,
It
bro." And I get why
is.
manuals are good because you
Yeah.
do have control.
Yeah.
Have
I love it.
control, bro.
I do love it. So imagine being in Europe and those roundabouts, and you
That
gotta.
automatic,
Woo. It
that
hit
automatic truck going downhill, that automatic truck going downhill ain't gonna do the same as I can control these
or
gears, bro.
uphill.
But this what I gotta say though. Okay,
Split them
because
gears.
when I'm driving my truck is automatic. Okay, whatever. But when I'm going down the hill, I'm an engine brake guy.
That too, of
Yeah, right.
course.
So
Yeah.
my
That too,
engine
of
brake
course.
helps me a lot when I'm going downhill. See, a lot of people. I did a video talking about engine brake. People were like, "What is that?" I'm like, "Bro, if you're driving an automatic, you should be mastering that engine brake." You see what I'm
What?
saying?
They don't use the
Because
engine
that
brakes.
lot man, when I made a video about the engine brake, the video I made, like, yo, when you going down the hill, bro, you got an automatic. Hit this engine brake, bro. You know it got 3 different levels to the engine brake, bro. You got the heavy, the
A lot of
medium,
Yeah.
them don't know
a
that
lot of
though.
people
Yeah.
don't know that. So everybody's
That's
like, yo,
crazy.
I'm trying to find the engine brake on my thing. I'm like, bro, so you going down the hill,
Yep.
brakes? That's
Yep.
why them brakes get all high. And then next you know, you see the dude go off the thing. You like,
Wow.
My thing is this. My thing is this. Again, I don't have a problem with automatic, but why would you limit yourself coming straight out of school having that automatic restriction on your license?
some
You see what
schools
I'm
ain't
saying?
teach some schools ain't
That
teaching that.
Well, they
A
should go
lot
to
of
that
that
schools,
school.
that
a
that's
lot
true.
of school,
That's true.
a lot of schools is just saying automatic because you know why? A lot of these companies got automatic trucks. You see what I'm
They do.
saying?
And
And that's what
but
it is. They catering to these companies.
you know what has happened it's just like us with cell phones, right? It's just like the human brain. The
Right.
human brain has been dumbed down because of cell phones.
Correct.
Now we don't have to spell out words,
Right.
and it's the same with truckers. So if you so drive like learning how to drive an automatic, okay, it's great, but at the end of the day, it makes you more lazy for everything else.
True.
Like you're not going to want to
Very
get out and even
true.
try to
That's a hell
learn
of a point.
how to fix a truck.
That's a
Right.
hell of a
Right.
point.
You know, back when my father was driving, right? There was a guy on the side of the road. Guess what? They pulled over. They had that issue. They were fixing that truck on the road.
Yeah.
Right.
Wasn't nobody paying to, or you would limp the truck to where you had to go.
Yeah.
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 Like I tell guys, I'm like, listen, if the inside tire blows, keep driving until you get to where you can go. Like I don't understand why you're stopping if the inside tire
So I
blows.
made so I made a post talking about tires, talking about the dry tires, and I talk about you got the two tires or you got the super singles, and I was like, really, I don't like the super singles because the super
Mm-mm.
singles they blow, you
Yep.
stuck. I said,
Yep.
but people don't understand is if you got them doubles, and like you said, that inside tire blows, nigga, you can keep driving. You can
Yeah.
drive because you got that outside. You still got that
Yep.
balance. You good. And I ain't
Yep.
gonna lie. I seen some people drive with that outside one go out and they still got the
I
inside.
have too.
Yeah.
I said that's the reason why you got double is because some people like my driver. I remember one time my driver, and he's a great guy, and this happened to him. He was like, "Yeah, my tire blew. I'm on the side of the road." I said, "Which one blew?" He said, "The inside." I said, "Well, drive to the truck stop." He said, "I can't drive on this." I said, "That's why you got two tires." He was
Yeah.
like, I said, "Just take your time." I said, "But you got the outside tire still good, right?" He said, "Yeah,
It's
got all the
fine.
tread." I said, and then he got to the thing. He was like, "And this dude been driving for 15 years." I'm like, "So what you been doing?" He said, "I just been pulling over." And like I said, when it's not your money, you don't care.
Yeah.
So to go, oh yeah, I pulled over in the cup. I said, "Bro, if you don't drive 20 miles to that truck stop and get a tire, bro, you know what I'm saying?"
It's
But when, like I said, these company drivers, they don't think like, "Oh, it's not my
You
money."
know what?
Like, bro, you still got to save money. You still got to save money.
that's the one thing that I used to do when I was working for people. I used to always practice like that was my truck. I said, okay, so what would I do in this instance? Where would I get fuel in this instance? I'm always going to find fuel where it's the cheapest to get fuel.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Simple as that. I'm always going to try to limp it somewhere. I don't even tell them that the tire blew until I get to the spot
Right.
where I can actually get it fixed. So I'm not going
Right.
to sit on the side of the road, have you pay roadside service. Oh, I blew. Now, if it's a steer tire,
Yeah.
that's different.
No,
That's
steer
Yeah.
tire,
scary as hell.
and I made a steer tire when I said, "Yo, this one blow, bro. You got to pull
Yeah.
over."
Yeah.
But then people would be like, "Oh, steer
You
tire, so I only got to
can't do
change."
nothing. You
But
can't keep
look,
going on this.
but then the people say this, "Oh, I got the steer tire. If this one blow, I just changed this one." I said, "Bro, you got to change both of them."
Oh
Well,
yeah. That's
why?
illegal.
That's
It's
what I'm
illegal to have
saying. I
change
mean,
on.
if people
Yep.
be like, "Why?" I'm like, "Bro, because they got to be the same.
They
That's
It's
law."
have to, and they
illegal to
have to
use used
even,
steer tires
they
too.
have to even, yeah. They have to even, they have
It
to
have to
wear
be
it evenly.
it had to be the same tread. It got to be the
Two
same
brand new
tire,
tires,
bro.
bro.
And it got to be the same brand. It got to be the same. Everything got to be the same. Only on the steers.
Yeah.
That's what I tell people. I said your drives, bro. You can use retread. I
Yep.
said sometimes if you got an extra steer tire, put that on the back for emergency for the drive if you need to, or put it on your trailer. I
Now I
said,
don't
but the steers, you don't
like
play with
me.
your steers.
Yeah, me personally, I don't use recaps on anything.
Okay,
Mm.
see,
Everything,
there you go.
You use
everything has to be
Chinese?
virgin. Nah,
Okay.
everything has
American.
everything has to be virgin for me. Now I'll put Chinese on the trailer
Yeah,
tires,
Oh, oh
he
but
put on
yeah.
the trailer. That trailer get
every
anything.
everything has
Yeah,
everything has to be
word.
virgin. Everything.
Yeah.
Right.
So
You know, to piggyback up what you guys saying, I want to add this in right quick. I'm gonna go to the bathroom. Bro, all these things kind of got going coincide with the mindset of somebody who do manual. Because honestly, if you driving, like he said, people just being too comfortable or too lazy for everything else. When you got a
Right.
mhm.
stick, bro, it's something about having a stick that it make you fall less asleep too. I don't
True.
know what it is. I don't know what it is. You
Because
know, bro, it makes you.
you gotta pay attention to them gears. You
Even
gotta
if you're
pay
on the
attention to make
highway
sure.
and you don't got to switch gears. If you're on the highway, and you just moving. Just something about that stick
Yeah.
keep you less up. But with that automatic, you holding it. I don't know what it is.
It even sounds different.
Yeah,
It even
Yep.
sounds
it
different.
does. It does.
Like an automatic transmission, and the way the motor sounds to compared to a manual transmission and the way the motor sounds are two totally different
What's true?
things. Two totally different things.
True.
And you know, again, I don't have a problem with automatic. I'm not gonna lie to you. When I drove an automatic, I loved it. I said, shoot. I said I can see why these boys love this. You don't gotta
You know,
switch no gears in town.
and that's the thing. Like so when I made that video, because I made it's my latest one. I made it. You know, yes, manual. Yes, it's if you know how to do it, that's cool. And
Yeah.
but the point of my video was just because somebody drives an automatic, don't make them less of a trucker. And what I'm saying is, in that is like you still deal with the same shit. I
My boy,
still deal with the
my
same.
boy Eli,
Oh, what he
my
say?
boy
You
Eli
still
just
have a
commented. He
professional
said,
stand.
he
Yeah,
said,
ain't nothing wrong with that, man. You still dealing with the same stuff, man. Like that's just what it is, man. Hey, ain't
but
nothing wrong
so
being a professional steering wheel holder, but you still dealing
he
with the same stuff. You know what I'm
he
saying?
drive he drives his behind off. He works, bro.
Yeah.
He stays on the road for weeks at a time, dog. Months at a
Do
time. Months at a
you
time,
do
dude.
you
Like,
think, especially in the way that trucking is now, you know, I'm like in the process of hiring drivers, but the big thing about a lot of drivers is home time, home time, home time. Do you think the
it's
way?
very important. It's
Yeah,
important.
but what do you
It's important. Go ahead.
go ahead?
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. You tell me. So tell me. I know home time is important, but in these times, how, how long do you think somebody should be on the road to make that money, to make a
Well, here's the thing. You
substantial
got
amount of money?
so it's about money and mental.
Okay.
The two M's,
Yep.
money and
Right.
mental.
Right.
So when your mental's off, you're not going to really care about making money.
Right.
That's why that R&R is so good to have. It's good to have that home time.
Okay.
Now, I believe because look, I've been driving for I've been driving for over a little over 10 years now. I've never been on the road over a week. Never.
Right.
Not
Okay.
never.
And that's a
So
blessing, though. And that's a
it, it,
blessing, though.
it is. It is. But here's the thing. I wasn't working for myself either. I was still working company, but I was home every weekend.
Yeah.
If
Okay.
I just happened to find companies that got you home every weekend.
Right.
So for me, I believe that I mean, because most drivers don't care. Like they don't mind staying on the road 2 weeks at a time,
Right.
3 weeks at a time. But my thing is, does it benefit you to run longer runs instead of getting that revenue in every day, or does it benefit you to stay local and get more runs in? That's the
It just
question.
depends.
I
It
want to
depends
implement
on it depends on your pay. It depends on what the structure is. That's what it depends
perspective
on.
too. Who's talking? Are we asking the owner op or are we asking the employee? Because if
The company driver,
because
right?
Both.
if I got a
We're gonna
company,
we're
if I
gonna
got a
ask
company,
both.
it might be beneficial for that guy to be running. But if I'm on the rock, bro, I'm like you. I was home on the weekends too, bro. I never was over the road. In the
Yeah.
beginning, I was with my family, but after like my first year of 6 months, I was home, especially and it's the region we're in too. We're in a very
Correct.
central located for certain products. You really can go to Georgia and back and be straight
Oh
every
yeah.
day.
Yeah. Every day, bro. I have a run. I have a run. I don't like talking how much money I make. I
So,
don't.
Yeah. No, we
Or how
don't. We don't. Yeah.
or or how little money I make. but
mhm.
but I have a run I have a run that goes from Decatur to Rennes, Georgia, which is not that far from Savannah.
Oh
It's
Okay.
yeah.
about 40 miles from Savannah. So I have a run that goes from there to there. It pays me four 40 a mile.
Mhm.
So it pays me $1,500 to go from Decatur, Alabama. It's only 346 miles.
I can believe that,
Right.
bro. I had something similar coming out of Savannah. My metal shop. We take these big thick metal blocks in Savannah. We take it. You
That's
probably
crazy.
know what I'm talking about. They're real thick. You're gonna put like five of them on your truck. I mean, they're big metal blocks, and they're weight like
Oh yeah,
in
yeah.
Savannah
Yep.
though, right?
Yep.
And they only can put like five, and they got to put them boom, boom, boom back. And I took it to Alabama, bro. So I know you're probably familiar with what I'm talking about. But that
Yeah, I
pays
know
pretty good too.
exactly what you're talking about. I know exactly what you're talking about. But that's a good backhaul.
Mm-hmm. It
That's a
is.
good backhaul to have because now I haven't been to that place in 3
It's
years.
heavy as
Your place
shit.
you're talking about, I haven't been there in like 3 years. Heck
Yeah.
yeah, man.
Yeah. You know what I'm gonna talk
and
about. Yeah.
and when I pulled out of there, I had a 53 footer.
Mm-hmm.
So
Drive
I
in
only have a
or
40. Yeah. No, it was flatbed. It was a flatbed.
man.
Yeah. Yeah. So, you know, but I'll do driving, I'll do flatbed. It doesn't matter to me wherever the money is at
Right.
that
Right.
specific point.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I like flatbed because it gives me a chance to do my exercise.
Mm-hmm.
Get
Correct.
out, do what I got to
For
do.
sure.
That's why I like flatbed.
For sure.
I'm not just sitting there, dropping hook is nice. Don't get it twisted.
Oh well, I
I
love
love
it.
dropping hook.
I
Like
love
you,
it. I
you
love it.
can't
That's what
you
we do.
can't beat it.
That's what we
You
do. I
can't beat
love
it.
it.
Yeah.
Hook
Well,
up
see,
and
so
go.
so yeah. We got to talk.
Hook up and go, man. Like I said, I had the drive vans. When I talk about I had drive vans. I was renting drive vans, and you're dealing with the dad and the maintenance, and I done all that. But once I started getting into dropping hooks, man, I was just like, yeah, I like this way better.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's really like you
Who
said, just
wouldn't?
depend. That's what I'm saying. It just depends on the person. But there's some people that love flatbed, for your exact same reason. I get out the truck. I'm more like, active,
And
but
flatbed fast.
yeah,
Yep.
because they want you up out of there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
But bro, like so for example, this is the longest I've stayed at a spot in a long time, and I've
Mm-hmm.
only been
Right,
here 45 minutes.
right.
Mm. Mm.
But it's the longest I've stayed at a spot in a minute, and I'm just like, yo, what the heck? Again,
Can you hear him? I can hear him.
There we go.
can you hear me? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear
Yeah,
you
we can hear you
now.
now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
barely. Yeah,
Somebody
yeah, there you
tried
go.
to somebody tried to call me, man.
Yeah.
So it's whatever.
But
But
yeah, I heard about brick as well. I want to ask you something about brick. Matter of fact, where do you see the market going in the next year or so? This next over year, next
I
year.
was I was just talking about this on my live that I do every Tuesday and Thursday on Telegram.
Okay.
We were just talking about this last night, and the harsh truth and reality of it all is that everybody says it has to get worse before it gets
Mm-hmm.
better. This is
Mm-hmm.
what's going to happen. This is what's going to happen. What's going to happen is things are going to appear to be better,
Mm-hmm.
but in actuality, things are getting worse and worse, and there's not going to be
Mm-hmm.
any recovery for it. Now, for us, we run the world. We run the U.S. We run everything. So no matter how low freight gets, we're still going to have to move regardless.
Mm-hmm.
But all I see is decrease. It's going
Mm-hmm.
to seem like an increase
Mm-hmm.
because the fuel's going to drop. The rates are going to seem like they're going up, but the only reason why the rates seem like they're going to be going up is because the fuel is dropping.
Mm-hmm. The
Now
cost, a lot of costs are going to start dropping.
watch for something else to go up though, like your groceries
Mm-hmm.
and stuff for that nature. Your
That's
car
already high. That's
insurance.
already
Yeah.
high, especially out
Your your
here. The groceries
your
has
your,
been
your
up.
car. Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's
It's
been
crazy. It's
up.
crazy. Your
It's been
your
up.
your car insurance, your property tax, something
Mm-hmm.
is going to go up so that it can be compensated. You see what I'm
Right.
saying? So
Right.
so because everything has to have a balance or lack thereof, a tipping point to where now pretty soon that that paper money is going to be no more.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
We're not going to have paper money soon. It's
Mm-hmm.
going to be all digital. That's what
Mm-hmm.
they're aiming for. A lot of
Mm-hmm.
people don't know the 1947 $1 bill was worth 37 cents, and that's back in 1947. What do you think the dollar's worth now?
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I said it's not going to get any better. So once they do this whole thing that they got on their agenda, once they do that, truckers will always be needed. We're always going to be needed no matter what. We have
Right.
job security, but when that fuel starts to drop and rates look like they're going up, again, everyone's going to be like, yo, we making money now, and then that's when everything's going to go like whoop,
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of how it
like a
was
roll,
during COVID then.
like a roller
Because
coaster.
COVID,
But well,
everybody.
I'll say this for me. When
Mhm.
I, bro, and COVID, that was the best year I've ever had financially during COVID.
Oh, for sure.
I made
Wow.
It wasn't even
I made
close.
six, I made six figures during COVID.
Yeah,
Cleared,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
cleared six figures.
But the margin was
But
different there, bro. Like fuel was so cheap, and
it
the
was
competitive
cheaper.
market was lessened. It wasn't people were getting into it. People weren't already in it.
But here's the thing too, bro. I wasn't doing like general freight. I was contracting for Frito Lay.
Um,
So
mm,
what? So while everyone was at home, what were people doing? Eating chips,
yeah,
Eating, yeah. So you
yeah.
was mo-
You were the
you was
only person
consider
on the road.
you was
bro.
considered
I was
essential. You was
I
considered
was
essential.
I, I was busy,
You was
bro.
doing
I
you
was
was doing
busy.
Frito Lay in Atlanta over there on Jonesboro. You been there before?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, okay. So I dropped and hooked there a couple times,
Yep.
but then I got sent to Pensacola for 5 months
Oh,
and was
oh,
chilling.
oh,
I worked 3 days a week, 3 days a week, 4 hours a day, and was getting paid for 7 days.
oh man.
And so you
Yeah,
was just pick
yeah.
you
It
was
was
just
sweet.
dropping a hook with Frito Lay.
I,
We
so
Frito Lay is
I
big
was
out here
dropping and
too.
I
They
was
big
dropping
out
and
here too.
hooking, but I was also just unloading the carts and the pallets at the stores with a pallet jack and just moving the carts. That's it.
Mm,
No,
I start I
easy
started
work.
2 o'clock. I started 2 o'clock in the morning. I started 2 o'clock in the morning. I was done by six
oh,
o'clock
that's sweet. That's
in the
sweet.
morning. So four
That was sweet.
hours.
That was sweet. That was
Wait,
sweet.
what's Eli saying? Contributing to the obesity of America. How dare you, Jay?
Eli, funny.
I
I
hate
can't
But
even
yeah,
see
man.
nobody.
But that's a pretty fair assessment though. You're gonna think that it's amazing. You're gonna think, but like you said, everything else is gonna go up. It's already going up. Insurances went up.
Hmm.
Property insurances went up. Uh,
you,
like you said, the
bro.
gas is gonna go down.
You know how much I pay for insurance
I'm
for
interested.
one truck?
How much?
Just take a
Hold on.
guess.
Let me
Take a guess.
ask you some questions, okay? So this is
That's
me.
his field.
All right.
No,
That's
you can't
that's
be
his
lying,
So
field.
bro.
That's his field. He'll if you answer these questions, he'll tell you exactly what you pay.
I'm gonna this is interesting to me.
I'm
All
gonna
right. Okay. So what's the
send
age
you
of your
something.
truck?
I'm gonna send you something too because I already started following y'all. I'm gonna send
Hmm.
you something,
Okay.
and I'm gonna
Yeah.
let you see because I know I'm being ripped off.
What's the
Okay,
age of
I
your
know that
unit?
for a fact.
What's the age of your
The
truck?
age of well, it's older. That's why it's a
Okay.
'99
So
model.
you have between Progressive, National Indemnity.
Progressive actually gave me a great rate, but the problem with Progressive is that they don't like paying their claims, so a lot of people don't like dealing with them
I have
worker
Well,
progressive.
wise.
I
well,
have progressive.
it's the reason why they don't like paying their rates. And I'm a trucker and I'm in insurance. So we know the rampant fraud that's in brokerage and stuff. So a broker will have a claim. Ooh,
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
everybody coming. And they'll say the claim is, I don't know, they say the claim is 100,000 and it'd be a $40,000 claim.
Mm,
And because brokerages aren't regulated with the same intentions as insurance companies, Progressive ain't paying that shit. Progressive like, nah, I'm not got to pay everything. So a lot of brokerages have said we're not gonna use Progressive, but they don't start nothing. Progressive still the biggest insurance
But
company.
I
You know.
but also too, I
I
think
like Progressive.
that's what I like about progressive is that they don't take no shit.
I
Hmm.
I
like
love
Progressive,
that. So
bro.
if
I
you a
love Progressive.
broker, and you don't take progressive, I'm gonna be like, well, I kind of want to mess with you because you must have been doing some shicey shit. Because progressive is a they gave me like you said the same thing with me. They gave me the best price of everybody when I was looking, and easy to add on trucks, take away trucks, add people, take away people. Like that process is like,
And they don't care how old your truck is. When I
They
first
don't.
started my company, I had a '87 Cabo
Jesus.
Freightliner. It
Jesus.
was stretched. I'm gonna send y'all pictures
they
of it.
like
It
we'll
was it
take
was a beautiful
it.
truck.
They're like
Yeah,
we'll
it
take it
should.
home.
It was a beautiful truck,
How
bro.
much do you
But
pay though, bro?
I was paying,
I'm interested.
bro. I pay $2,400 a month for
What's
For
the
one
one
value of your
truck.
truck?
truck.
What's the value?
For one truck.
How?
I know why.
Oh, what do I have the value set? What do I have the value set at?
Yeah,
Yeah, you probably had
a
it
hundred
set
I
at
have
like
it.
grand.
I have it set at 80.
Oh, of course. That's why. It's
I have
because they're
it
the
set at
way
80.
they know most trucks that are 90s aren't that value, but they know people put a lot of specs into them, and it's customization, and customization with specs are an increased risk. So and sprinkle all that in, you got an older truck. Sprinkle all that in, you ELD exempt. Sprinkle all that in, they're trying to push out older trucks. It ain't gonna be
Exactly.
FMCSA to do. It's gonna be insurance that do it. Because
Right.
I only have what you probably got: National Indemnity. You got 99. Maybe Canal will do it. Progressive, Berkshire.
Progressive don't care. They'll insure anything. They don't
Who do you
they don't
have?
care. I have so I have this insurance called oh my gosh, why do I always forget the name of these idiots? Because they piss me off. That's why I always forget the name of them. Um, let me look at my book. That's isn't that sad? I don't even
And,
remember the
and, and,
name of
and
them.
I'm not talking about the agency. I'm talking about the actual company.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Um,
Yeah.
oh yeah, it's Great American.
Oh, you got Great American. Great
Great
American's
American.
not bad. That's the older trucks too. But Great
But see,
American,
I have three insurers, bro. Three.
that's
What?
common though, bro. That's common.
I think my
It is
last one.
common.
I
It is
think my
common.
last. Yeah,
But
my last one I had that.
so
But this one I got all progressive.
It
So
may
every
seem
I
bad,
got
but it's
no.
go
It
ahead.
is common.
Yeah.
It is common. I have accredited specialty. Did you ever
For
hear them?
who? For your auto
Accredited.
liability?
Uh, yeah, insurance A, yeah, for
Okay.
liability.
Okay. Okay.
Then I have Great American. Then I have Lloyd's London.
Yeah,
I
that's
had
general
I never even heard of them.
liability.
I had
Yeah.
them. I had
Yeah.
them in Cali.
Yeah.
I had them. I had
Lloyd's
Lloyd's
is
of London.
cool.
They're
Lloyd's is like a
act-
1,000 year.
they're
Yeah.
actually not that expensive. Lloyd is.
Yeah.
They're not expensive at all.
Lloyd
But
does general liability. General liability is typically like 750 or something. That's for
right,
Lloyd's.
right,
You're
right.
accredited. I'm believing, and if you look at your certificate of insurance, it's going to have A, B, C on the left hand side. You see
Yep,
that
yep. Insurer A is accredited. Insurer B is Great American, and Insurer C is
I
Lloyd's.
think I,
on your left hand side, like, on the left hand side of the paper? What does it say? A is general liability, or is B general liability?
B is general liability. So Great American.
So,
I pay the most with them.
uh, oh, okay, 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 okay.
I
So you
pay
would
the most with them.
accredit it. Okay.
And so I have I got the $1 million policy.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I lied. I have $100,000 per unit. That's what it is.
yeah, you up there.
And my
And
car.
here's another thing.
And my cargo deductible is $2,500.
That
That should make it
too.
cheaper.
I don't have a 500. I don't have a $5,000. There's no way I was gonna do that.
You know,
No way.
here's another thing I want to add. So your physical damage, and this is probably where they're getting you at. Your physical damage should always, because I'm guessing you're clean, 3 years driving history.
Bro, clean. Uh, my company is spotless, bro.
Wow,
Spotless.
wow.
I have no dings. Thank God. No
There are
dings.
other programs that are coming available. I got a few companies that will do a 99. But what I would say is this: the main thing of I guarantee they're probably screwing you on is probably your physical damage. If you paying more than 6 grand a year for your physical damage, they're screwing you.
I could tell you how much I'm paying, but if I go out of here,
I
I'm
understand.
going to not be able to be. I'm not going to be able to get back on
Yeah,
the live if I go
yeah,
out of here.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
but bro,
But I ain't. I
I'm
mean,
I'm I'm gonna send you everything. I'm gonna send you
yeah,
everything I have. And you're gonna see. You're gonna be like, bro, they getting you, bro.
yeah.
They are getting you, and I know
What's
they are.
bro? You know what's crazy about it?
This
Like
guy,
He
bro.
said I
I,
know. He said I know they are.
I love
Hey,
talking
nothing
about
you can
insurance for
do. There's
trucking.
nothing you can do
Yeah,
either.
yeah. And you know what, bro? I love having this
Screwing me without
conversation
lube,
because
bro.
I love having this conversation because I was on the other side for so long. But before I got to insurance, my trucking company got shut down for like 2 months because I couldn't get insurance. So I was sitting at home for 2 months, and I said, you know what? This is 3 or 4 years. I said I gotta get me into insurance. Like I'm not about to be, you know, out here crazy again. I got into insurance. I understand it. I understand different markets. I can understand why yours is expensive and the rate you got it at. I understand, like you're paying at least 5 grand a year for your truck, which you're supposed to be paying about 4 grand just for the truck.
Yeah,
Probably paying about six, to be honest, 6 or 7. That's where they're
it's a
getting
lot.
you at. Yeah.
It's
And
a
then
lot.
your auto liability is probably about 16,000, 17,000, and all these little numbers add up to your big sum. That's why you're paying 24 a month. What you put down about
bro. And
six
I,
thousand?
something like that,
Yeah,
something like that.
yeah,
And you know, it's funny because Jiggy, he hit it right on the nose. I'm paying a little over 24K a year
yeah. Okay,
for
yeah,
one
yeah.
truck
But
though. But I know why. I'm not stupid either. I know why. I know why it's happening. But I also know I'm
yeah,
getting screwed too.
yeah. And then what you need to do, bro. This is why I got to be on social media more. More if you got an agent, like what I honestly do, I don't try to beat nobody prices. I just try to look at the market, and I got a really deep market. I got Geico, I got Progressive, I got everybody they got. And if the market say, okay, this dude's 30,000, it's 30,000. But what most agents do, it'll be 30,000 on most market, but they got that one or two markets where it's 15 or 20, and only I got that quote, and I'm gonna hold my nuts on you on that quote because I know you got to pay that 30. I don't do that, bro.
Right. Yep. Yep.
They ain't my game, bro.
Yeah,
Because I'm gonna win
they getting
regardless.
more money off that 30. So why would they give you the 15, 20? They gonna
Because
give you the
Right.
because
they gonna give you the 30.
because the person
Right.
like us as a trucker, bro, insurance is. I don't want you to get a payment that's hard for you to pay. If
Exactly.
if you gotta struggle to pay this, bro, I know the side of that. So why would I want that?
Right.
You ain't gonna keep it. You gonna look around. You gonna lose your company. I'd rather you pay that 1,500, bro, and then we re up every year on 1,500. Like it's hustling. It ain't you supposed to keep up coming back. Not one time and you never see them again.
So
And the
That's
thing
it.
about the,
tell them this, Alante, what you told me. If you can't pay the insurance, they get money back from you, right?
Yes,
So
yes. I got so
you get it
agents.
too.
We have chargebacks. You know, we have chargebacks. If I sell somebody a policy, he have it for a half a year. I got to get my commission back, and that's fine. But But it also should incentivize me to make the right deals. Make sure people are
Yeah,
taken care of.
put them
You
in the
know,
right
another thing.
situation to where they can pay it, and it's not you gonna get a thing 4 months from now that they cancel. That's
I also send my certificate
yep.
of insurance within like 10 minutes. I don't play. If you send me an email for a COI, you ain't about to get it in no hour, 2 hours. You gonna get it in 10, 15 minutes, bro.
yeah, that's
Yeah. It's
So
bro.
the trucking
It's
expert.
I try to tell people, I'm like, trucking is not for the faint at heart, man. And people, they think stuff is sweet on this side. No, bro.
No, they
No.
no. A lot of people are like, me having my truck. Oh man, you making all this money. You doing this, you doing that. You buy, bro. If you look at how much money go out on a monthly basis, you wouldn't say that.
Hell
You know what I'm
no.
saying?
Absolutely
If you
not.
look at
Why are you
if you look at
bumping this river, dude?
how much money you got to invest to
yes,
start this
yes,
business,
yes,
you
Hey,
wouldn't be saying that.
hey,
You know?
I tell people from the rip, I say, you, before you even think about getting a truck, you 3 month people that wanna do lease purchase, before you even think about doing that and drowning yourself and hating trucking because of it. What you want to do is you want to stay in this for a couple years before you even think about getting your own truck. That way you can see what maintenance is going to be. That way you can do everything you need to do. And then you can have 13,000 saved up, 15,000 saved up, 20,000 saved up when you first get out there. Then that's just for maintenance.
mm-hmm.
That's that's what I tell a lot of people. A lot of people talk about being an owner operator, stuff like that. And I'm very like when people ask me, well, how much money do you think I need? I'm up there. You need $35,000 in the bank. That's what I tell
I,
people.
I
30
agree. I agree.
between 30 and 50. You need to have that in the bank just before you become an owner. You can't become an owner operator like you said. People get dragged into these lease purchase programs because I don't have to put no money up. You put up a little bit of money, but you getting screwed, bro. But then, like you said, those are the people that are hating trucking and saying bad things about trucking. It's because you put yourself in that position to fail. Look at
That's why I tell
look in the
people.
mirror.
Yep. That's why I tell people, and I tell people, listen, you're gonna learn two ways, the easy way or the hard way.
Right.
You
Right.
choose which one. Now you ask me for advice, and I'm telling you what I know. I'm not telling you what I think. I'm
Exactly.
telling you what I know. I'm not
Yeah.
telling you what I feel because I don't go based off of feelings.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling
Exactly.
you what I know, what's going
Exactly.
to be beneficial for you. I'm telling you so that you can have a step ahead of what I had to go through.
Exactly.
But hey,
That's
people don't want to listen, man. No, I'm just going to get this owner operator money. All right.
Yep.
Now when they don't give you the runs that you want, don't complain talking about something. I hate trucking. No, you should hate yourself for the decisions you made.
Well, and exactly. You should, and that's what I had a video before. Like, yo, look in the mirror, bro. Like, nobody told you to get that truck.
No.
Nobody put a gun to your head to be a trucker. Nobody told you to get this industry. You made that decision, right? So if you mad at anybody, like you said, hate yourself.
You
Be
got
mad
to be
at
mad
yourself
at yourself. Look,
because you
when
did.
I made, when I made certain decisions, I was mad at myself. I was like, okay,
Bro, I like
you
I
know
said, I've
darn
had
well
my
you shouldn't have
company.
made that move. You
I've
know
had
better. You
this
know
company.
better.
I had my company for almost 3 years, and I'd be like, man, shit, I probably shouldn't have bought all these trucks. I probably should just had two, and then just continue to have people lease on, and I'm chilling. I get to keep 150 in my
Yep.
account, and I just do that. Like, I think about that. I got trucks. I'm like, what? I might sell 2 trucks, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Just to get the bread back and do some other
nothing
stuff. Like, cause
wrong with that,
and
bro.
there's nothing wrong
And
with it, bro. But you like
Nothing
I
at
said, but that's why
all.
no, no,
that's
no.
why people get it. That's why when you got new people get into this industry and you see people like us that got the experience, don't be too prideful to ask for help because we can save you thousands of dollars, bro.
Yeah,
I get people hit me up all the time. Yeah, man. So once I get my own truck, hey, how long you been trucking? I only been trucking for a year. Get 2, 3 more years under your belt and stack up $30,000 to $50,000. Then tell me. And then talk to me. Damn,
yep.
really? Yeah, bro. This shit ain't no lick. Trucking ain't a lick, bro. People think it's a lick. It's not
No,
a lick, bro.
it's not a leg, but it's a very good stepping stool. I
It
used to work
is.
construction,
Right,
and I tell my wife this, and I want to say this on live. Matter of fact, like I remember I used to work construction where we deliver sheetrock,
right,
and that's a really hard, strenuous job. I remember going home at night, bro, and being so tired, like so tired. And I told myself in 2025, I said I want to be just as tired, but for my business in that area. I
right,
don't never be that tired. Like I'm in the office, I'm about to go home, work some more, get on 2K later on. I don't be that tired.
right,
And I said, have I gotten to a point in life where I can have more liabilities, or I can use that same energy and focus on being greater?
right.
That that same energy that was put into that, it should be put on everything, bro. I
Right.
mean,
And here's the thing. I told myself I will never, and I repeat, I will never work for anyone else ever again. Ever again. And I meant that. And that's why I have no choice but to succeed.
for
I
sure.
have
Correct.
no choice but to I have no choice but to fall and keep getting back up.
You know what
I got people
the crazy thing?
I got people depending on me. So I cannot allow that to happen. That's not even an option.
Hmm.
You know what's crazy, bro? So I used to play professional basketball. I played overseas, hot second in the NBA, but then I went overseas. I and my wife know this about me. I never really had a real 9 to 5 job in my
Mm.
life.
Wow.
Must be
Must
nice.
be
But
nice.
Must be nice.
but the thing is though, the
Must
shit ain't
be
been sweet. The
nice.
path ain't been sweet. You know what I'm saying? Because my wife, she works. She makes good money. But I have this business. But it didn't happen overnight. I was trying to be a firefighter, bro. I was a volunteer firefighter. I did all the tests
Oh
and everything.
snap.
I did firefighting. I was about to be a firefighter because I was like, you know what? I'm still working for somebody, but it's gonna be fun. You work 10 days out the month. I can do other things. Great. I like it. Come to find out, I'm getting hired. Got through the interviews, all of that. Next thing you know, I can't pass the color test, the eye color test. I'm not colorblind, but according to them, I'm colorblind. I can't get hired nowhere. So
Wow.
I put 3 to 4 years into being a firefighter, right? And then that didn't work out. So I was like, you know what? I'm not meant to work for nobody. I got to just get it on my own. So that's when I got into trucking. You know what I'm saying? That's when I bought my first truck, got into that. But I'm telling you, it's just one of those things that there's nothing like working for yourself. But I know he said 1.7. Nah, bro, look me up. I was getting buckets. I was getting buckets. But the thing is, though, what people don't understand, when you have your own bit, I know I'm gonna follow you, man. Hey, can we bring him on a conversation? Where is he at, man? We gotta bring. I'm gonna have to add. Can I add him? Tell him to request to get in, man. I gotta talk to
he
him.
said,
That
he
one
said, he
point
said, I
Yeah,
think he's a familiar. I was like,
right.
oh shit.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. But the thing is, like I said, on my point is,
oh
bro,
my
all my point is,
Dang.
all my point is that when you have your own business, like you doing your thing, you got your own truck company, you doing insurance, I got my own business, you got to work even harder
For sure.
than
You
the
do.
person
You do.
that's working 9 to 5. But people
Yep.
don't understand
Yep.
that, bro.
They
People
don't get
think
it.
that, oh,
They
you
think
got
you have money.
oh, you got your
Yep.
own business, bro. Oh, you just at the house chilling, bro.
Yep.
Bro, do you not know how many calls I might get at night
Yep.
because my drivers are driving at night? You know
Yep.
how many text messages I've been getting ever since we've been on this live.
For
You don't know
sure.
how many calls I get, bro. You don't know that. Oh shit, I gotta go check on my trucks. I had to jump one of my trucks yesterday with my kids in the car. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? Like,
They
and
don't
my kids with
get
me.
it, bro.
They don't understand that grind, bro. They don't understand that, you trying to hire people and then you dealing with people that don't want to work or they trying to tell you when they can be back and all that. Like, you don't understand this, bro. Like when you have a business, bro, it's 24/7. It's 24/7.
Bro.
They don't get it. They don't get like I tell people like, yo, bro, you really be working. Like, wasn't you just in Alabama? I said, yeah. There's like, wait, you're in Florida already? I said, yeah, bro. I don't play. I keep the doors closed.
Go, bro.
Even
But
if you
that's
did
how you
just
gotta be,
Alabama,
bro.
bro,
To do.
That's how
like
you gotta be.
even then this would think about trucking because people think because you're local, maybe you have more time, bro. There was plenty of days I worked 17, 18 hour days. Like you don't know
Bro,
what can
local
happen.
kicks your butt.
Yep.
Local kicks your butt
What?
more than over the road
It
does.
does.
So
It does.
I
It
told
does.
one of my drivers, right? He was like, man, I just want to do local, bro. I said, if you do local, bro, you're gonna be working 16, 18 hours a day. Well, what you mean? I was like, bro, local is I feel like just for me, just seeing, being in it and seeing it, I'm like, I feel like OTR is cake compared to local. I'm
Yep.
like,
Bro.
what are you talking about? Like, you know what I'm saying? Why would
Locals
you
a
even,
hustle,
bro,
bro.
people, and that's what people think. Oh, I'm gonna work local. I get to see my family at night. By the time you get home, your family sleep, and then you waking up before them.
Hmm.
You ain't gonna see them
Or
anyway. You just
sometimes you just going to sleep to get back up and go do it again.
right. You might just park the truck at the next location. Say, I'm gonna sleep here. Wait
Bro,
Man, for sure,
you know how many times I've done that? I'm like, you know what? I ain't going
For what?
home. I'm gonna just I'm
I'm
gonna
just
just
gonna
What?
park
park
right here and go to sleep.
What?
and shoot.
You-
What you say?
You know,
That's what. Go ahead.
and then for the longest, like for me, I just think back because you guys are talking about, some of the situations you had earlier in the truck. And for me, I was in the truck with my family, and I remember
You
just,
told me about this one.
bro, I was in Baltimore, bro, and I remember just being broke as fuck, and then some shit would happen to my truck and not having the funds to fix it. Fortunately, God was with me. He protected me, and he allowed me to get to that situation without any kind of turmoil, make my engine didn't blow, or it was
Right.
nothing devastating.
Right.
But it was plenty of times where maybe my transmission was leaking. I'm over the
Right.
road. Now transmission fix. If you're in the A, you can get that fixed for like 5, 6, 700. You can get a new transmission, get it swapped out.
Yeah,
But over the road,
yeah.
it gets tricky. You gotta put water in it. It's leaking out. It may be cold or hot outside, and I don't got the money to get it fixed. And you just trying to make money, and you early on, so you do need to be in position if you're gonna be out here running. I say this, bro. If y'all can't stack the bread, get your credit right and get like 2 solid credit cards, and then
Right.
get a good truck. And that's hard because hell, we don't know what a good truck is until you're in it. But get a good truck.
Every truck break. Every
Because
truck break.
everybody drive different. It could have been a good truck for the last dude, but he done took it through the ring, and now you
You
getting
got
all the
these brand.
issues that.
You got these brand new trucks breaking down. Soon as
Yeah.
That
they
I was you
as
beat
soon
me
as they
to it.
as soon as they come off the lot, they breaking down. And then you
Hmm.
take them then you can only take them to the dealer, and the dealer like, well, we don't really know, so it's gonna take a month to get fixed. And now you still got to pay insurance, you still got to pay your truck payment, you still got to pay everything else with that company, but you can't
Yep.
make no money.
Yep.
That's the big.
Yep.
And it.
I feel like that's one of the biggest scams is brand new trucks. I feel like
The
yeah, you could take it to the
biggest
shop, but they still break down. It's like me getting a brand new car and it break down the next week. I don't feel like a brand new truck should be breaking down for at least 2 years, 2, 3 years. I shouldn't have no problems. you
well,
know, but
but
they still break down.
honestly, brand new everything is a scam.
Right.
Brand
Yeah.
new anything is a scam because like why would you want to put yourself in that? Why would you want to put yourself in that? And you know, just like having to pay all that stuff. Like, man, shoot, having a car payment for for all those years, it's like having a freaking mortgage payment, bro.
Yeah,
True.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
like having a mortgage payment, and honestly, why would you even want to go through all that?
yeah.
True.
Some of
That's
these
true.
guys truck knows for more than their mortgage.
Oh
Mm,
yeah, oh yeah,
Yeah.
mm,
definitely.
mm.
Some of these guys are paying 700, 800 a month for just the truck being at least on a rock. I mean, I'm sorry, a
A week.
week, 700, 800 a week. You know,
Yeah, it's
A week.
bad.
you know. Tris, I don't know this guy's name, but he asked, "What's the best truck, old or new?" I like, I like gliders. So if you can get you a glider, that'd be nice. That'd be
There
an
you
old
go. There
chassis,
you go.
old engine,
Yep.
old drivetrain.
So now you're speaking
But
my
there we
language.
go. But here's the thing about when you get old, when you get something like that old, either you have to get like for me, my tie rod, not my tie rod, my drive shaft, it was special made. So it was so old, like a 92. It,
Yep.
you can't go to every junkyard and get that. But they do
Nope.
run way more stronger.
Yes, they do. You don't gotta worry about all that death fuel crap.
Oh,
And like I
that
said,
death.
you could
That death, boy.
you could
Woo.
run that paper.
That
You can
death,
run
boy.
that paper, boy.
That death.
Ugh.
We in the South, we delete our deaths though. You in Cali, bro, you can't do that.
You can't.
Absolutely.
You can't.
For sure.
You can't delete that
You
That's
know,
death.
like I
why,
said,
bro.
like I said, we a Wyoming company, but we go through Cali,
Yeah.
and you
Yeah,
know,
yeah, they do
you,
those checks in
they do
Yeah.
Cali,
those
man.
checks. They
For
do
sure.
those checks, man, and it's just like it's like I said, California, man. It's
California
I don't
sucks,
understand. I
bro.
don't understand their end goal because you're losing more and more trucks. That means the state's losing more and more revenue
They don't
because you know
care.
they don't but California's just I don't get it, man.
They so
That's
rich,
why
bro. They don't care about none of that.
I it's just like they say they care about the environment, but then they don't. They do a lot of stuff that don't make no sense about the
Yeah.
environment. So you
Man,
like,
they don't they don't care about no darn
yeah,
environment, man.
If you
They fugazi as heck.
they try
and they
to,
go
yeah, they
without
are.
saying
Yeah,
because
hell yeah, they are. I give it shit. I believe in that,
the South
But
got some of the best clean areas, and all throughout the South you don't need death.
Yeah,
Like are you
yeah.
like Florida? I mean Florida, man. Any part of California ain't really messing with certain parts of Florida. Like I get LA's clean, but I don't know if LA really is clean. I've been to LA before. I
you
don't
know
know if
what?
it's that clean.
LA, certain parts, bro. Where I live at is clean, but then you got some parts you like shit. You know what I'm saying? Like downtown LA, it's terrible. Downtown LA has always been terrible. They try to clean it up, but it's always been terrible. By the ports, I'm originally from Long Beach. We got the ports in Long Beach.
Oh, you from Long
Yeah.
Beach?
Mm-hmm.
So
Oh, oh.
you got the ports in Long Beach. They cleaned that up. They have cleaned that up. But LA, like downtown LA, is just not clean, bro. It's
Bro,
terrible.
you don't crump, bro.
What the hell, nah? You like this?
Hey,
That's an LA
hey,
thing, man. And Long Beach, man, we sea walking. That's what
okay,
we do. You know what
okay,
I'm
okay.
saying?
I was about to ask you that. You do a crip
Yeah,
walk
we
and do you
walk.
crumping?
Yeah, we walk where we from, man. We from Long Beach. You better know how to walk, and hate to say it, man. You can't be rocking that. You can't be rocking that red. You can't be rocking that red where we at. But
Oh boy.
that's the past, man. That's the old me. You know what I'm saying?
That's the whole you.
you
but
know.
see, but see,
This dude,
I love trucking
bro.
I love out west people who truck because I meet a lot of black guys and a lot of brothers out there. But still, bro, I think to really experience trucking, you gotta go a few places: the South and the
I
Midwest.
feel like
Like,
yeah, I like the Midwest. My guys love the Midwest. It's
mm-hmm,
open,
Yeah.
big. You know what I'm saying? The South is good. Like when my guys are in Georgia, like I said, we've been to the Bessemer, Alabama. We've been to Baton Rouge.
yeah,
Obviously, we shot down to Florida. We've been to Florida a lot,
mm-hmm,
Carolinas. Not a lot of people like the East Coast, but my guys go to the East Coast, like Massachusetts, Maryland.
mm-hmm.
Like I said, Virginia's been really well. Virginia's been really well. I don't know what's going on over there, but Virginia got a lot of freight coming out of there, especially in the drop and hook. But
Oh,
yeah, man,
really?
like the Midwest has been good to us as well, man. We ran up and down the Midwest.
And there's trucking
When I,
friendly out there as well. Midwest,
and
Virginia.
I wanted to tell y'all this. The funny thing I noticed, so when I had my California company, we used to always get pulled over into the scales. California, everywhere. My Wyoming, bro, they don't even fuck with us.
Mm, mm,
Ah,
They just like, oh, Wyoming, oh, you good. But something about like people just don't like California, bro. Like everywhere else, California,
you
man, California
right about
company,
that. You
people
right about it. I
just
don't know what it is,
that's
bro.
they
because so
just
bro,
don't like them, bro.
so bro, I can't.
You know, but that's the thing, man. Is like we get more love with the Wyoming plates. We get more love, and then just the Wyoming as far as just their DOT, because you got the Y dot, great people. You can actually call them and talk to them. They help you. Their system is
Oh wow.
simpler than California. California, bro, you got to go through 1,000 people. Wyoming, you can call somebody, they help you right there on the phone. Boom, 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 boom. Hey, we need to do this, do this. All right, cool. So I definitely see why, leaving California. And California also had they had like a DMV. They would charge you every truck you had to pay quarterly. And then they also had like the California Department of LA was lost because I was LA
Mhm.
County Department of Revenue. So they wanted a tax. It was all type of like little tax, and then now you got to get your truck small check biannually. So it's just I don't know what they're doing, man. They're just making it harder and harder, and it's not like the rates are tripling, you know. So it's just like
Well,
gas is
again,
high, diesel is like 480, 490 a month, 480, 490 a gallon. I want to say $5 almost.
bro, it's not about you surviving.
No, it's
It's
not.
not.
It's just
It's
by
not.
you. It's just by you kind of maintaining
Yeah.
just to have
Yeah.
a company just enough to continue to pay.
Yep.
But
Yep.
here's the thing about that though, because whenever my truck company what we was maintaining, I always ask myself, I said, we're doing good now, but how long can I maintain? Because I always felt like truck is one of those industries where you got to thrive. If you're not really thriving,
What are
you
you
just
doing?
you just
What are you
you're
doing?
waiting you're waiting to die.
Yeah, you gotta thrive, and like I said, it's what you put into it.
Yeah.
Yep.
If you not,
I agree.
the thing with trucking is you gonna make money when you driving.
Hmm.
Okay,
Hmm.
there's no shortcuts in trucking. Even though you may do local or you may do regional, you still got to put the pedal to the floor and move that truck. You know what
You
I'm saying?
do.
So that,
You
that
gotta
truck,
move, bro.
yeah, if that truck is not moving, nobody's making any money.
Hmm.
And that's the thing you have to talk to. And as I said, I'm in the process of trying to hire some drivers, but you got these drivers that I just want to do it for a week and then come back home. Well, I don't have that type of freight, bro. You need to go somewhere else. Or
No, word.
and I'm
Word. I
and
agree.
that's
I
and
agree.
that's the thing. Like I said, you have a company and you hiring people. You got to be transparent.
You
I ain't got that.
do.
I
You
can't
do.
promise that. I'm sorry, I can't promise that. Well, what can you promise? Well, my guys, I'm gonna tell you what my guys are doing. They out at least 4 weeks at a time, and they're not really pressuring me to be home. I'm gonna tell you what my guys are doing, and then you see if you fit that mold. And
I'm like,
if you don't, then okay, cool. I'm not mad at you.
I'm like, nah, fam. I ain't trying to do that, B.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Nah, I'm kidding. I'm joking. I'm joking.
Yeah, but some people will lie to you though and be like, "Oh no, that's
Yeah,
cool,"
that's
and then they want to,
cool.
and
Yep.
then they work with you. Hey man, I need to go home because I gotta go to a funeral, or I gotta go home because my girlfriend's sick, or I gotta go home because of this. I gotta go home because of this. But my nigga, I told you what it is in the beginning. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like, let's be honest. So there's people.
Most
And
people
then
ain't
they,
cut for it though, bro.
Yeah, that's it. But like I said, if you want a local job, there's local opportunities out there. But just know it's not what you think. They think, oh, I get to work for 8 hours and I go home. No, that's not
yeah,
local,
that
bro.
it's
Local
not.
local truck driving is not that, bro.
They do 14-hour days
And
consistently.
then don't be the local truck driver that you got to be on that forklift, the forklift on the, because we got a lot of those out here. They got the local, and then they got the forklift on the end. And you got to pull that forklift off the truck and then doing deliveries and all of that. That's work, bro. You know what I'm saying?
It's a lot of
It's
work.
not
It's a
sweet.
lot of
Like
work.
they think that local is sweet, bro. That local ain't sweet like that, bro.
Mm.
It's not, bro. I tell guy, you might as well just be regional. Be out for 2-3 weeks and then come home for a week. do something like, nah, I want to be home every day. Okay, you say that,
Hey,
or get that, get that Pepsi or Coca-Cola contract and do that. Go, yeah, do that. Have fun with that.
hey, Sir Jay, I got a question for you, bro.
What's up, brother?
How do we tap in on a Tuesday and Thursday with you, bro? I want to get. I'm pretty sure Marcus does. We gotta get one of them lives.
So if you look in my
Mm-hmm.
bio, it has the Telegram. It has a Telegram. It has a Telegram. Shoot, jeez, I can't think right now. It has the Telegram information on my bio or in my
Mm-hmm.
bio. I am private, so I'll have to accept y'all. But yeah, man, we do every Tuesday and Thursday. And I got about, I think I got 50 subscribers.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it's yeah, man. So, but the same group of guys always are, in the group. They're a good group of guys. Matter of fact, the one that was just on here, Eli, he's
Yeah,
in
Mm-hmm.
that group. Yeah, he's in that group.
yeah.
So,
He's the comedian.
yeah.
I'm about to
Yeah.
send Eli. I'm about to send him a highlight tape. I'm about to send him a highlight tape. Like, don't play with me.
What
Hey, you guys say I
what'd you
want to see
play? Did you?
highlights too. Don't send me.
I'm gonna send.
I want to
I'm
see
just
it
put
too.
I'm gonna put the highlight tape. I think I might be one of my early posts. One of my maybe my early posts I put about I used to hoop. It's on there though. You
Were you
gotta dig. You
dunking?
gotta
You
dig.
not dunk?
Go out. What? I'm 6'8". I better not dunk.
Wait. You're 6'8"?
Yes.
I know,
Dang.
right?
I'm kind of well. Okay, man. Well, again, I wasn't blessed with that height gene at all.
Me either,
Like not
bro.
even not even close.
I'm,
So yeah,
how much? I tall you, bro?
5'9".
I'm the exact same
Yeah,
height.
y'all short.
Yo, I
Short.
thought, bro, looking at you, I thought you was at least. I thought you were at least. I don't even at least 6 feet, bro. At least 6 foot.
Who
Yeah.
me?
Yeah, you. Yep.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. I wish my wife felt the same thing. Well,
Dang, that's messed up.
hey man, I'm not a 6 foot guy. Nah, but on a serious note though, Marcus, man, I want to say thank you, bro, to this
Yeah.
live.
Yeah, bro. I like this,
Yeah,
man. Bro. I like I said, I didn't see y'all. I didn't see Shorty on your, on your stuff before, and I was just like, I gotta tap in with these
yeah,
brothers, man, one day. And
yeah.
I'm glad I did, man. You guys are some solid dudes, bro. It's good to meet. It's good to meet good people. Seriously.
Eli said I'm not allowed in the telegram because he said he was the tallest. Now I'm coming in. Yeah.
Yo,
I
yo,
gotta
Eli, man. Eli got problems, but don't listen to him, man. He got issues, dog. Like,
Nah, man, this Alante, he came up with the Freight Fridays, man. And we try to do it every Friday. But yeah, man, we just go in here, just talk about the industry, man. Just talk about stuff, kind of, bent and just talk about what we see, and just kind of have that, just putting people on. And there's a lot of people that get on and they ask us questions and we answer them. But like you said, man, we just try to spread. I think our goal is, myself, Lante, and even CDL Shorty, man, even yourself. We just try to just give the information, man, and
yeah,
just help people.
yeah,
The
for
one thing,
sure, man.
the one thing I can say about this industry, there's a lot of information, and not one person knows it. But if we all just continue to put information, then we can be that source of information for people. And
Absolutely.
that's what it is, man. It's a lot of information out there. I try to put information, just whatever I know, whatever I learn, and just go from there, man. But it just needs to be more of that, and that's the point of Freight Friday. Like I said, Alante created this. It's just on mine today because I think the video come in clear on mine. I don't know what it is.
I have no idea. Yeah, I
He
have no
might, he
idea.
might, he might have T almost. That's what I
Yeah,
have. I have T almost. They almost work sometimes,
Yeah,
So
bro, I had them when I was trucking. They're the worst ever. T-Mobile?
yeah. It's bad, bro. T maybe.
maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, they suck.
T might have service.
Yeah,
You
That
gotta
they
have
do.
they're
you gotta have Verizon.
I got Verizon now. They ain't that good either. I pay too
Verizon
much
good
money
where
to
we
use them.
at.
I keep hearing that, bro. Like I keep hearing that Verizon has fallen off so hard.
It did,
Verizon.
bro.
So who's the best then?
Nobody. AT&T, I heard.
AT&T. Oh yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Only, I live in an area where it's a brand new area, and Verizon don't work for shit. I'm
Well, that's
like,
how.
I live by Atlanta, so I'm like, how I live by Atlanta and my Verizon don't work,
Yeah,
but
see,
like,
Verizon not good in new areas because we used to live in Vegas, like a new construction and
yeah.
all that, and it probably took them a year to get the towers and everything out
Um,
there. That's what it is. Like these
mm.
new areas, like Verizon is terrible because they ain't got no towers out there. AT
Well,
and T
Mm.
got everything. I'm like, man, what is AT and T got? They got the plug.
mhm.
Dang.
But yeah, Verizon's not good in new areas.
But Jay, we do these every Friday, bro. If you ever fan a Friday, you want to jump on, you want to have a segment, bro. We can just, 'cause all we're gonna do is just cut the footage up. We're gonna Mark is gonna submit it. I'm gonna submit it. And we just getting followers like that.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep
Okay.
Yeah.
talking about
Yeah.
those automatic transmissions though. I'm gonna keep pushing that, man. You know what
You go ahead.
I'm
You
saying?
keep pushing it.
I'm gonna
You
keep
keep
pushing
pushing it.
that for the new truckers,
You
man.
keep pushing it.
I'm gonna be they source. I'm gonna be they hero. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You go ahead and be a hero.
So you the automatic martyr.
I'm be the
I think.
barber for
Oh,
automatic. Hey man,
okay.
no, but as I said, the point of that video, man, they still truckers, man. Yeah, I know manual is cool, man. Like if you know how to do it, it's like you said, it's another tool in the tool belt. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, if you still a trucker, man. You still a trucker, man. You still
Yeah.
put
Yeah.
you still
Yeah. But
driving.
yeah. But the thing about it is automatic. Automatic is not even a tool, bro. That's just.
No,
I mean,
I'm
if you try.
saying a manual. If you know how to drive a manual, if you know how to drive a manual, it's a tool and a tool. But it's still, man, if you got a CDL, man, you still a truck driver. Can we
Oh,
hear me?
he went.
I'm gonna let y'all fellas go. I gotta get this stuff tied down and everything. So
All right,
it
brother.
was.
Nice to meet you,
It was.
brother.
Yeah, man. It was a pleasure, yo. I appreciate y'all, man. It was a
Man,
pleasure.
appreciate you too, brother.
Add me back on Instagram, bro. I added you.
All right. Yeah, I got y'all. I got y'all, man. For
Okay,
sure,
brother.
bro.
Be
I
All right, be
got
blessed.
y'all.
safe out there.
All right, y'all take care, man.
All right.
Marcus, I'm probably about to wrap it up too, man.
Yeah,
This
me
was
too.
a good.
My wife texted me. My wife, she like, "Yo, I got the day off, and you down there talking to these Negroes."
Yeah. Boy, my wife will be on my ass, boy. What? I
That's a whole nother podcast.
man,
I'm still gonna make the other podcast, the men's league. I'm still gonna do it. I've been talking to my boy about it. That's gonna be a good one too, man. That's gonna be a good
it,
one.
it definitely is because I would love to expand on. My wife don't like me go talk about stuff we talk about. Like that shit make her cringe. But as long as I'm saying nothing crazy, I be saying some real shit though, bro. Because we go through some real shit in marriage.
Well, just being just being a man. You know what I'm saying? Being a man is not easy. Men, we have a lot of pressures. We put pressure on ourselves. You know what I'm saying? We kind of live in an area that to not talk about it, but we all go through the same shit, bro.
What?
And it's one of those things that it's just like, hey, nothing wrong with talking about, nothing wrong. Like just like in this trucking stuff, we all go through the same stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So if we talk about it, we know there's at least 100 other truckers or people in this industry that's going through the same shit. So think about it as problems and issues and things you talk about as a man. There's for one issue that we talk about, there's probably thousands of men that's going through the same thing. You know what I'm saying? And then what I like, and one of my things about creating the men's league as well, is the young men. It's the men that are 18, the teenagers, helping them. Because I hate to say it, man, there's not a whole lot of people that you look up that's really giving you real information on how to survive as a man. So I'm really passionate about that's like kind of more like a passion project for me.
Mm-hmm.
But just talking about issues about doing this thing right, man. Because being a man and then a husband, a father, you know, businessman, that's a lot,
Yeah.
bro. That's a lot of things that you got to go through, and that's why I'm really going to start pushing that. I'm gonna have a podcast for that. Maybe I'll do that once a week, and just talking about just talking to various men and just things going on in life, man, and talking about certain subjects. Not bashing women or anything. That's not what I'm about. But it's just like I think the men's league gonna be really good for for men to really have like a okay, yeah, because it's needed.
Yeah.
I really feel like it's needed.
I got two daughters too. So the last thing I want to do is bash women, let alone bash black women, because I got two black
Correct.
daughters. So
And that's what I'm saying. And it's
yeah.
not a, and that's why I call it a men's league. It's really focusing on men's issues, on
Hmm.
men's topics, because it's like, at the end of the day, when you look at social media, bro, everybody's bashing women or everybody's bashing men.
Yeah.
It's tiresome. And that's the reason why I'm like, man, I like the men's league because I'm like, I'm not really on that, bashing. Because like I said, I got a wife, I got two daughters
Yeah.
myself. It's just really helping men because like at the end of the day, man, you see the generation coming up of men, and it's kind of worrying because at the end of the day, two men are gonna be dating my daughters and married to
Yeah.
my daughters. So you like, how can I help the next generation of men is by doing something like this,
Yeah.
That's why I'm definitely gonna do. I'm gonna set it up and get that going. But I got a lot of things I'm doing and I'm setting up, man. But I just feel like 2025 is gonna be a good year for me because I'm putting these things out there and I'm just doing it and I'm putting positive energy. Everything that I'm doing, everything that we doing is positive. We're not
Mhm.
bashing nobody. We just being positive and just giving out information and just helping people. When you leave with that, bro, the reward, the gifts, and all that shit is gonna come. But you
Yeah.
got to put out that good energy, that positive energy, and not expect anything in return.
Yeah.
That's what I'm on this year.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm with you on that, man. Man, my whole goal this year is to continue to put out good material.
Yep.
Or start. I put out one video. Continue to put out good material. I like to have this information because I fill it in with my timeline. Just us talking and having conversations, but just I want to be able to control my growth because I'm growing a little too fast. It's a good thing, but I don't know, bro. Like you start getting so much money in, you just don't know where you're coming and going, and it don't feel good. Um,
I, I was in
but
that position. I was in that position with my company. Like I said, I feel
yeah,
like, when we talk about my company and stuff, I feel like maybe I scaled too fast.
yeah, man.
I got to five trucks too fast. Because like I said, like I got two trucks. I'm real comfortable, and I talked to my wife about this. I'm real comfortable with having three trucks running
Hmm.
and selling two trucks. But it actually kind of works out that I feel like that's going to happen because I got three trucks that I got payments on, and I got two trucks that's paid off.
Hmm.
So I'm like, well, I can just sell the two trucks that I own outright because it's easier to sell because I got the titles, and then put that money into something else. I really, really want to do the factoring company.
I've sold
That's been
trucks that I have payments on too. By the way, if you find somebody that the margin's good,
yeah.
I'll do that.
You can do that too. Yeah, you just got to see what your payoff is. I sold my
Hmm.
box truck. I sold my box truck. I had a box truck and I sold it. It had a payment on it,
Hmm.
and I made probably like 11 grand on it.
Hmm.
But I just like it. Like I said, it's an easier process when you got the titles. You know, and those trucks are under payment. Those are cool, and I don't care. But you get a bigger margin. You get all the money you spent when you sell your truck. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So you got these two trucks worth at least 50 a piece because they both of these trucks are under 500,000 miles, so they're like probably worth 50 to 60. Oh yeah, I can get 50 or 60 each truck, then I can use that as seed money to start because I really want to do the factoring company. That's been pulling on me so bad, and I feel like creating this community and stuff that could be a way that you can have people using your factoring company. You know,
For
so
sure, for
that's
sure.
that's that's the
And
way
then
you
you
can
know
do it.
what? What I've learned about trucking, and this is our whole brand. Our whole brand, bro, is just to move people into a space where they can have trusted services. You can
Correct.
trust you can trust the freight bro. I mean the factory. You can verify with the freight broker. You can have trusted, clear, and concise. And maybe that can be on part of your vision board of your company. But because even me, like, bro, people come to me and give me insurance. It's not only because I'm reputable, but because they know I'm gonna take care of them. They know
Correct.
they in a good space
Correct.
where they ain't gonna, you know, get fucked over. That's all we doing.
Well, that's what it
Giving
is.
people a
Like
platform.
that's what I'm saying. You in a space where a lot of people get fucked over. Insurance. But like you said, you can have these quotes for 30,000, 30,000, 30,000, 35,000, and then one be for 15.
Hmm.
A lot of people ain't pushing that 15.
Yes,
They
for sure,
pushing
man.
that 30, 35. right? So then I can have a factoring company where everybody's doing 4%, 5%, and I do 2%
Mm-hmm.
or 1.5%.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You got we can corner those two markets right there
Mm-hmm. For
just
sure.
by being trustworthy,
Mm-hmm.
just by saying and being honest and transparent. Hey man, you got a new company, we'll do 2.5, and then you work your way up. And you're being transparent. That's what's lacking in our industry. We're lacking transparency. But like I said, when you're honest, like even when I'm dealing with drivers, you're honest, but then drivers are so jaded because they're not used to that.
Mm-hmm.
See what I'm saying?
100%.
But then when they start to know you, they be like, "Oh, okay, yeah, he really an honest dude. Like, yeah, I ain't got nothing behind. I just want you to work." You know what I'm
You, you,
saying?
you see, the guy asked us,
He said,
"What do we think of hot shots?" Why don't you answer that?
um, it depends. You know, hot shots. I think hot shots. You know, you can do non-CDL hot shots. I think if you have a truck that's capable to do that to get your feet wet, you can do it. But do I think you'll make more money doing non-CDL hot shots than just getting a tractor and just getting a 53-foot trailer? No. But if you want to get your feet wet and kind of start out slow, but it all depends on how much money you start with. Anything that you get into, bro, can you afford them hot shot pickup trucks? And at the end of the day, they still expensive too.
What?
They cost just they cost just as much or even more than a tractor. So you just gotta look.
Preach.
You just gotta put the cost together. You know, I think a lot of people do non CDL hot shot because they feel like it's easier to get into.
Mm-hmm.
Just like box trucks, people feel like it's easier to get into because you don't need a CDL. But then you're limited. You still got to get a company. You still got to get insurance. So why not just get your CDL and get a tractor and get a 53-foot and then just do flatbed? You're gonna be bringing in more money, right? Because you still got to go through the same government design and regulations and stuff like that. So if you want to get your feet wet and kind of see, but I know them pickup trucks ain't cheaper than a tractor. I know they just as much.
Well,
They
see,
just, they just
I,
as much as a tractor, especially right now. They probably
hell
more.
yeah.
They probably
I want
more.
to add in on top of that. So when I first got into trucking, somebody asked me, well, I asked somebody real big about, should I get into a drive in or should I get into drive in threw me off because he just come in another message. When
Yeah,
I
yeah,
was
yeah.
getting
We'll
into
catch
trucking,
that.
someone asked me, they were like, hey, I asked somebody who's big, Larry. I said, hey, Larry, because he was on live one day. This is 8 years ago, bro. Larry was on live. I said, Larry, should I get into trucking or should I get a hot shot CDL company? And he told me getting to regular tractors. He said,
Yep.
get in the and that one thing, that one piece of advice was the best piece of advice I've ever had because hot shot, you're going to narrow your capacity of what you can haul because you can't haul what a semi does, and you have more wear and tear on that little truck. No matter what they say, that little truck is not meant to be hauling what they say it is. They can go all around the country, they can do all that, but
Right.
it's not meant. They cannot pull what a semi truck can pull a plane.
We
It can
pull
pull a
anything.
frame down the street and around the corner. Them pickups can't. So you have, in my opinion, more wear and tear, which is more expenses on that. And you can't do a real sleeper berth. With a regular tractor, you can do a real sleeper berth.
Right.
But
That's
that's
what
for
I'm
another story.
saying. So if you want to invest all that money, especially if you don't have a pickup truck, if you don't have these things, invest that money into it. You know, getting your CDL, getting a tractor. Like you said, you can do flatbed, you can do reefer, you can do drive-in, you can do a heavy haul. You just have your Swiss Army knife with that one tractor. You're not stuck in a lane. I feel with a hot shot, you're stuck in the lane. So if that lane dries up, you can't hook that pickup truck to a drive-in and get on. You can't do that. You know what I'm saying? So I would definitely say if you want to get into the industry, get your CDL, and then get you a tractor, bro. Do it the right way, and then just take your time and learn the business and keep your costs low. But get your CDL, work for a company, and then when you work for that company, you can jump in different things. Okay, I'm gonna do flatbed. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. Get the industry knowledge first before you set out on your own. Because unless you just got money in the bank, but get your CDL and work for a company or get your tractor, but make sure your cost is low. The other question he asked was, what reefer better than drive van? I was gonna get into reefer. I talked to a lot of people that's in reefer. Reefer is an added expense. You still got to take care of that trailer. Now you got to put diesel or you got to put reefer fuel into that reefer. That's another expense. Insurance is higher in reefer because you're carrying food, cold products. I feel like a lot of people I talk to, if that reefer got to be, taken care of because if that temperature dropped below a temperature that that company wants, now they can refuse the load. Now that can go on your insurance, blah, blah, blah. Another thing that I heard about reefer is the wait times. I heard that the reefer wait times are
What?
crazy because it's not like a drop and hook drive-in where they can just put it in the trailer and park it over there. They rarely do that because they want you to pull up because usually that cold stuff is in the cold storage. So your wait times is crazy. I've heard wait times of up to a day. So that's one of the reasons why I didn't do reefer was because of the wait times. Everything else I understood, but you know, and then you're not gonna get paid for those wait times. So it reefer works well if you have your own cold storage and you move it from your own storage and that. But I just heard that reefer, a lot of reefer opportunities, especially if you're working with a big accounts. It's just the wait times are crazy. So that's one of the things you have to be accountable for if you're working for a company, making sure that that's in your contract. But everything that you do has its pros and cons. I say for me right now, I like dropping hook, man. If you can find yourself a drop a hook opportunity, it's just less maintenance, less money towards the trailer, stuff like that. Um, that's what I like. And it's all about knowing your costs. He said they want deliveries in the middle of the night. Yeah,
Yeah, they
reefers they want that.
do.
Yeah, they want it. Yep. And then so if you at a location and then you out of hours, you have the PC to a location just to make your delivery time. That's very common in the reefer space. Um, so yeah, I was gonna get into it, man. I had the opportunity to do reefer, but I was just, I like what I'm doing, man. It's just all about finding your niche, finding what you like to do, and then just going hard on that. But I feel like for me, I like dropping a hook, man. If I can drop a hook, you can drop a hook anything. It could be a flatbed preloaded, it could be a drive-in preloaded. Drop a hook, drop a hook. You know what I'm saying? That's just where I'm at with it. I've done the multiple stops. I've done the nationwide freight with the drive-in. I've done all of that. Um, but yeah, man, I like dropping hook, man. You gotta have. It's all about having the right drivers, man. That's what it comes down to in this business.
Yeah. Yeah, man, this was a sweet Freight Friday, but this one for like 2 hours this time,
This was
bro.
long, man. Yeah, I know. I gotta make sure I send you this video, and I'm gonna keep it on for now until before I archive it. But I'm gonna send it to you and then chop. I know we got some material to chop this up for
Hmm.
sure. A lot of good
I'm
things
about
for
I'm,
sure.
I'm about to back out of here, big
Yeah, me
dog.
too, man.
Um,
I'm about to get
it was nice seeing you on this Freight Friday, first start of the year. Let's keep getting this money. Let's grow this time next year. Let's have amazing accomplishments. Let's have amazing stories to tell about how God helped us in our time of need.
right.
And man, take care too, driver. And next Friday, Freight Fridays, my man Marcus, CDL Shorty, the third,
Yep,
First
yep,
Insurance
yep. Okay,
Expert.
can't forget about CDL Malcolm X,
Mm.
Shorty.
CDL Malcolm X Luther
Yep,
Jr.
yep, yep,
My
yep,
man.
yep.
But
But yeah, man, it's been a good conversation. I didn't know it was gonna go this long, but like I said, we met good
this is
people.
nice though.
Thursday,
We got some stuff. I'm about to shoot some more
Thursday.
content before I leave the office.
Yeah, yep, yeah. Get them videos in,
I
man.
got
But
you,
we'll,
baby. I'm in here.
but
All
yeah,
right.
man. Have a good Friday, good weekend. Blessings to all, man. Keep pushing, keep doing. It all work out, man. It'll all work out.
See you next time, people. Peace out.
Peace out.
Chop it up, bro. Send it to me. Be blessed, bro. Peace.
You too. Bye.